parents are from South Louisiana and were born and raised there, so I guess that pretty much classifies me to have a lot of Cajun blood in me.
And what do your folks do?
My father owns his own business and works for an oil company, and my mom runs fitness industry. My dad is creator of a exercise ball, so that's what they're in the fitness industry.
He invented that.
He brought the exercise ball into the fitness industry. He was in the physical therapy industry, and he started a company called Resist the Ball in 1991 and brought it into the fitness industry, and now he travels around the world teaching programs on the exercise ball.
So he's an entrepreneur and an inventor in some ways. Is it the big ball we're all used to seeing that people do sit-ups on?
Correct, yeah. It was already created. He just took it into the fitness industry. He's been in the fitness industry and owning health clubs all his life. So he took it in the fitness industry and started writing programs on it. And they're actually an educational company where they go out and teach you how to teach classes on the ball in health clubs.
So you're pretty well versed in how to train yourself, probably.
Correct. He also teaches a lot of biomechanics and strength training, so he teaches me how to work out properly and handle my business in that aspect.
Dallas Morris is with us on a bright, sunshiny, still brisk and cool to be sure, but better conditions than last night's winter-like atmosphere here in southern Wisconsin. We're going to wrap things up with the Colonel third baseman when we return. Right now, a message for you from our fine sponsor, South Slope Communications. You're listening to the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show on the Kernel Radio Network.
Here for your communication needs, internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners, we make a good team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communications.
Turner Communications Triple Play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
Dallas Morris, Colonel third baseman. We're wrapping things up on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show and wanted you to tell our listeners a little bit about what effect the hurricane devastation had down in your region. I'm not sure where Lafayette is compared to, say, Baton Rouge or New Orleans, but could you paint the picture of what it was like?
Actually, Lafayette fared pretty well in the hurricanes. We've got split by both the hurricanes, but having friends and family in both Lake Charles and New Orleans, we got to see the devastation firsthand. So it was pretty rough. We had a lot of evacuees come to Lafayette, and I live not far from the Cajun Dome, which is where they house a lot of the individuals. So it was tough, and you got to see really firsthand how devastating a storm like that is, and how it affects the whole state. And it was pretty sad to see, and we're looking to recover and bounce back from it.
Dallas, they say that young kids from high school and college from Cedar Rapids that have gone down during spring break a few weeks back to help out and try to rebuild, those kids say that television just doesn't do justice to the amount and the depth of the property destruction and destroyed lives.
No, it does not. I've witnessed New Orleans and South Louisiana, Cameron Parish, around Lake Charles, both hurricanes. I've seen what they've done, and it's words you can't describe the devastation that you see if you just, you're driving down the street and all you see is slabs for where houses used to be. It's pretty devastating just to see something like that.
Well, Dallas, great to have you with us. You're the first player we've introduced to our listening audience on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, and it's wonderful that you would take time to join us and tell us about your background. Now, when we return home for the 3-game series against the Peoria Chiefs, we'd like you to treat yourself to a meal at any of our Zio Giano's Italian spaghetti houses. Dallas, they've been a staple in the Colonel Clubhouse for the 11 years I've been with the ball club. The best in spaghetti, pasta, pizza, Italian food, fresh, at Ziogiano's. Please enjoy this treat on us, and thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank you a lot, and I really want to thank the town of Cedar Rapids for providing such a home-like atmosphere. It's really great.
We're glad that you've already had that impression, Dallas. Dallas Morris, our guest on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. After this word from South Slope Communications, I'll be back and set this afternoon's starting lineup. Game 3, Kernels versus Beloit. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative. We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners. We make a good team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communications.
Turner Communications Triple Play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
Under bright blue skies and wonderful sunshine, the Kernels look to notch their first win of the season here in Beloit. Good afternoon, everyone. Great to have you along with us. I'm John Rogers, right behind home plate at Pullman Field, and it's 46 degrees. The wind is blowing in, and it feels a little bit balmy compared to last night's iceberg conditions. You heard about those from our South Slope Communications Triple Play Show guest, Dallas Morris. Dallas is not in the lineup this afternoon. We'll set those lineups for you right now as the umpires have gathered at home plate, and they'll be accepting the lineup cards from first-year skipper Jeff Smith of Beloit and the Kernel third-year manager Bobby Magianis. Thursday night in the season opener, Beloit blanked the Kernels 4-0, and then last night Henry Sanchez, with 2 out, sent everyone home frozen in the bottom of the ninth inning as he homered off Ryan Aldridge to give Beloit their second straight win, 2-1. Starting lineup for the Snappers, leading off, Terrence Patterson, the designated hitter. Steve Tolleson will bat second. He's at second base. The shortstop is Paul Kelly. Kelly will hit third in the Snapper order. Batting cleanup, he has belted a pair of home runs in the series. Minnesota Twin first-round draft pick from last year, Henry Sanchez. Sanchez at first. Hitting fifth is Edward Ovalle, and Ovalle's in center field. The right fielder is Eli Tintor, batting sixth. Tintor is from Hibbing, Minnesota. Caleb Moore will be behind the plate and hit seventh for Beloit. Hitting eighth is Dwayne White. He'll be in left field, and batting ninth is Giancarlos Ortiz at third base. On the hill for the Snappers is a 22-year-old, soon-to-be, later this month, 23-year-old right-hander, Adam Hawes. Hawes, H-A-W-E-S, is 6'4", 190. He was born in British Columbia, Canada, went to school at Connors State Community College in Oklahoma. Adam Hawes, 4-0 last year in 14 appearances, 9 as a starter, with a 1.53 ERA for Elizabethton of the Appalachian League. Here's how the Kernels will line up, brought to you by Allen Motor Company. Allen's has a virtual showroom they'd love you to visit. It's as easy as logging onto their website, www.allenmotor.com. That's ALLENMOTOR.com. Allen's invites you to visit their website or their spectacular 13-acre campus, I-380 and Boyson Road, exit 25 in Hiawatha. They've been doing business in our community, Cedar Rapids area, since 1903. The Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup, leading off for the third straight game, Brett Kuhn in center field. He's the young kid from the Cleveland area. Larry Infante will bat second and play second for the Kernels this afternoon. Henley Stacia is at shortstop, hitting third. Batting cleanup in the Allen Motor Company order at first base, Mark Trumbo. Warner Madrigal has 4 hits in this young series. He'll bat fifth and serve as the Kernel DH today. Hitting sixth is Patrick Riley. Riley's seen his first action of the season. Patrick Riley in left field in the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup. At third base, as the designated hitter last night, he had 2 of the Kernel hits. Travis Schlichting. Schlichting batting 7th at the hot corner. Madison Edwards gets his first start of the season. Madison Edwards in right field will hit 8th for the Kernels. And batting 9th and catching for the 3rd straight game, Brett Martinez. Rounding out the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup is a young fella celebrating his 21st birthday today. That's Kelly Shear. Shear is a southpaw with good size, 6'3", 200 pounds. Kelly is from Missouri City, Texas, and he was signed by the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim as a free agent. Last year, Kelly Shear, with the Pioneer champion Orem Owls, was 2-4 in 13 starts, and he posted a solid ERA of 3.62. 21-year-old Kelly Shear, a southpaw, on the hill for the Kernels, trying to help the Kernels to their first victory of the season, and with a win this afternoon, give the Kernels a chance to gain a series split. The umpires are now accepting those lineups that I just reviewed with you, and let's take a moment now while Bobby Magianis and Jeff Smith greet each other at home plate on this bright, sunshiny, brisk Saturday afternoon to bring you up to date on the State Farm Major League Scoreboard. From Beloit, the State Farm Major League Scoreboard brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Gary Schubat, Dale Thompson, Brad Dunn, and Al Shetler. We have one final from this afternoon in the National League, and it was a slugfest at Great America Ballpark with the Reds holding off the Pirates 11-9 Cincinnati, and that sends the Pirates sinking to their 6th loss in a row. 2 games on the Eastern Seaboard have been knocked out by rain. The Marlins and Mets were scrubbed at Shea, and Philadelphia's game at Citizens Bank Ballpark with the Dodgers postponed also due to rain. The classic rivalry at Wrigley Field has the Cubs leading the Cardinals 3-2, and the Cardinals are batting in the top of the 9th inning with 2 out. The Cubs trying to win their 2nd straight at Wrigley before 40,000 this afternoon. They lead the Cardinals 3-2 in the top of the 9th inning. They're in the bottom of the 9th, 75 minutes east of here at Miller Park. And the Brewers are trying to keep their unbeaten record intact. They're even 4-4. Milwaukee tied with Arizona in the bottom of the 9th inning. And it's the Giants leading 7-0 over the Braves. They're only in the bottom of the 3rd inning in San Francisco. The Giants are pasting the Braves 7-0. Later tonight, the Nationals take on the Astros at Minute Maid Park, and it'll be the Rockies and Padres at Petco Field in San Diego. We have a final on the State Farm Major League Scoreboard from this afternoon indoors at Rogers Center. The Blue Jays upended the Devil Rays 8-4. The Royals continue to give the world champion White Sox fits. The Royals lead the White Sox at Kauffman Stadium 4-3 in the top of the 9th inning. Later on, we'll have Baltimore hosting the Red Sox, the Twins in Cleveland at Jacobs Field, and then I'll get to the night games in a little bit. But right now, let's pause from Beloit on this beautiful but cool Saturday afternoon for the singing and playing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Well, there's the national anthem here from Pullman Field, one of the turn-back-the-clock era ballparks in the Midwest League. They're celebrating their 25th year of professional baseball here The Snappers are the Class A Midwest League affiliate of the Minnesota Twins. After 23 years as a Milwaukee Brewer affiliate, they switched over to the Twins. And the Snappers dart out onto the diamond in their white home uniforms with green numbers trimmed in dark blue, all green hats. And defensively, they go with Dwayne White in left, Edward Orvala in center, Eli Tintor, a native of the state of Minnesota, in right. Giancarlos Ortiz is at third, Paul Kelly the shortstop. At second, Steve Tolleson for Beloit, and Henry Sanchez, who won last night's game in the bottom of the ninth inning with a two-out solo home run over the 380 mark in center field, is at first. A battery of Adam Hawes and Caleb Moore. Let's finish up setting the slate for you on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. We mentioned that later this afternoon the Red Sox will visit the Orioles. The Twins, the parent club of these Snappers, are in Cleveland tonight. Texas hosts the Tigers. It's the Athletics at Safeco Field in Seattle, and the Yankees will play our parent club, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Good news on the big league front. Last night, former Colonel right-hander Scott Shields earned what they called a hold. In other words, not a save, but he got Gary Sheffield to ground into a double play, and that set up a K-Rod save as Los Angeles, our parent club, even their mark at 2-2 in the AL West, a 4-1 win over those dreaded New York Yankees. Well, we are glad you're with us here on the Kernel Radio Network, our first game in the zone. ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG, Cedar Rapids. Down the chute she goes, Caleb Moore to Paul Kelly, the shortstop, and in steps the Colonel leadoff batter, Brad Kuhn, to face Adam Hawes, the right-hander from Canada. 45 degrees is our game time temperature, 6 degrees warmer than last night, and the wind is blowing in, but not nearly with the force and fierceness of last night. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not balmy here, but it is much more pleasant, let's say, and comfortable than last night. The game's first pitch is bunted in the air, foul, straight back towards our press box perch. Strike one to Brad Kuhn, 1 for 9 in the series. Brad singled in last night's game, stole second, and scored the only run for the Kernels of the evening in the 6th inning. Kuhn, a left-handed batter, takes a blistering fastball on the outside edge for strike two called. Brad's a left-handed batter, doesn't wear batting gloves, and he's trying to get the Kernels started off the right foot here in the first inning. A fastball from Adam Hawes is up and away for ball one. Outfield plays Kuhn to hit the other way. There's a big gap in the right center field alley. And a slider goes inside. Hawes is throwing hard. Dwayne White in left is playing very, very shallow. And the 2-2 is peppered foul over the third base bleachers. We've had fun describing this ballpark for you, and we're doing it in great detail because this is our one and only visit here this season. That's right, this is our only visit to Beloit. Ball three is downstairs, and Brad Kuhn's had a good at-bat no matter what happens from now on. He was in the hole 0-2, and now he's run the count full. Great to see the sunshine today. It should be warmer and sunny tomorrow. Here's a ground ball to short. Paul Kelly surrounds it and throws out the fleet-footed Colonel leadoff batter. Brad Kuhn did a nice job running the count full and then putting the ball in play, but he succumbs on a grounder to shallow short, one away here in the Colonel first inning. Colonels losing the first two in this series by scores of 4-0 Thursday night and 2-1 last night. Larry Infante was 1 for 4 in the game last evening. Didn't play in the series opener. And Hawes misses low with a fastball. Good-sized crowd on hand here this afternoon. All of them bundled up in their parkas and stocking caps and windbreakers and blankets and sleeping bags. Todd Brummelkamp, our media relations director, is with us this weekend. His ball two is low to Larry Infante. Now a letter-high fastball for a strike. And Todd said he saw one of the Colonel pitchers using his ingenious power of protection. He had a towel in front of his entire face except his eyes last night, and Todd said he resembled Lawrence of Arabia. There were quite a few people like that. I mentioned that Eric Owens, our hitting coach, the first base coach, looked like the abominable snowman out at first base. Infante, a switch hitter batting left, shoots one foul off to the left, and now takes just low for ball 3. That looked to be a curveball. Tomorrow afternoon, we conclude the series with a 2 o'clock start. Infante shoots one down the left field line into the Beloit bullpen, and that's a long foul ball, and the count remains full to Larry Infante. Several of the Beloit, at least 2 that I can see with the naked eye of the Beloit outfielders, have their sunglasses on, and ball 4 is low and in to Larry Infante. The Kernels have a man aboard with 1 out here in the first inning. Larry Infante draws the leadoff walk. That brings in Henley Stacia.
Number 4, Henley Stacia.
Henley doubled with 1 out in the 8th last night, was in scoring position in a 1-1 game, and is 2 for 8 in the series. A switch hitter batting left. Fastball high and outside for ball 1. We told you about Scott Shields' hold in the Angels win at Anaheim Stadium last night, or Angels Stadium, over the Yankees. At AAA, Tommy Murphy doubled and homered as Salt Lake won 9-2. They stomped Tucson. Tommy Murphy, the former Colonel shortstop, doubled and homered, had 3 runs driven in, and Eric Ibar was 2 for 5 with a couple of runs driven in and 2 runs scored. So good news there. Swing and a foul straight back by Henley Stacia. Todd Brummelkamp does a wonderful job preparing Halo Happenings, results from around the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim system, so we can keep you abreast on how former Kernels are doing. And that's one of the most common questions we get. How is so-and-so doing? You could probably hear in the crowd mic that Henley Stacia looped a foul off the facade of the grandstand roof here at Pullman Field. Wonderful setting for baseball. You're right on top of the action, that's for sure. There's nothing corporate or upscale about this facility. It's very homey. Now a little looper foul over the third base Beloit dugout. Their mascot is Snappy, and you can imagine he's a green and yellow turtle. He doesn't get down on all fours or pull his head in under his shell like a real turtle. He's a very outgoing, friendly fella. Just as popular as our own Mr. Shucks. Runner at first, Infante, not going, and Henley Stacia has shown us early in this season that he is one tough fella to retire at the plate. He fouls another pitch, a good one from Adam Hawes, right off his fist, straight back. No score. We've just opened the lid on this one. We're in the top of the first inning, 1 on, 1 out for the Kernels. And a toss over to first, chases Larry Infante back. Henley Stacia spells his first name Hainley, and we'll get to know him soon on the... There goes the runner. A pitch low, a ball, the throw to second in plenty of time, and Larry Infante was a goner. He was tagged out and may have wrenched his ankle sliding feet first. The shortstop took the throw, and poor Larry Infante was either expecting a hit and run or stumbled. He certainly stumbled sliding into second. He never reached the base on his feet first slide, and the caught stealing went 2-6. Catcher to shortstop. Now a little dribbler, 1 foot or a swing and a miss. The catcher lost the handle. He throws to first to retire Henley Stacia and the Kernels. Nothing doing for the Kernels in the first. No runs, no hits, a walk, a man caught stealing, no Beloit errors, and nobody left for the Kernels. And after 1/2 inning, it is the Kernels nothing and Beloit coming to bat. You're enjoying Kernel baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
It's unheard of and industry first. A car and truck from the same manufacturer to win the coveted Motor Trend Car of the Year and Motor Trend Truck of the Year in the same year. And the award goes to Honda. Yes, the 2006 Honda Civic wins the Motor Trend Car of the Year, and the 2006 Honda Ridgeline wins for Motor Trend Truck of the Year. And you can find them both at Randy Kill Honda on Center Point Road Northeast. Randy Kill Honda is the home of confidence. Check out their huge selection of new inventory, including the Honda Civic Hybrid with fuel savings of up to 50 miles per gallon on the highway. You owe it to yourself to see why Motor Trend voted the Honda Civic and the Honda Ridgeline the Motor Trend Car and Motor Trend Truck of the Year for 2006. Visit Randy Kiel Honda in person on Center Point Road Northeast or online at randykiel.com. Randy Kiel Honda, where they treat you right.
Hy-Vee, the most respected and recognized brand name in our entire great state. Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees value the vital role professional baseball plays in our community's fabric. Our treasured tradition of affordable, wholesome entertainment that brings families, friends, work colleagues, and customers together for lifelong memories. Your Cedar Rapids and Marion Hy-Vees are proud to support the best thing going in eastern Iowa, the wonder of Kernels baseball.
Terrence Patterson, a right-handed hitting leadoff batter, first up for Beloit here in the bottom of the first inning, no score. The tall lefty celebrating his 21st birthday, Kelly Shear, misses low for ball one. Patterson, 0 for 3 last night, walked and scored in the first inning. No score, and a strike from Kelly Shear. Let's set the Kernels for you defensively because we have some new faces making their Kernel debuts. One of them is Patrick Riley in left, Brad Coons in center, and Madison Edwards, who took over in the 9th inning in right last night, is in right. Here's a bunt and a backhanded play by the big guy, Kelly Shear. Then he just shoveled it to Mark Trumbo. He took a hit away, did the Kernel pitcher from Terrence Patterson with a dandy backhanded stop on a very fine bunt by Terrence Patterson. The play goes 1-3, and Kelly Shear looked that ball into his glove. He had to start from his left off the mound towards first base. He backhanded the ball off this beautifully cut lush green grass and then shoveled it to Trumbo for the out. That was some play by the big Kernel lefty. Ball one outside to Steve Tolleson. Steve walked and reached on an error last night. He was 0 for 2. He's 2 for 6 in the series, and he rattles one to short. Henley Stacia has it, and on to first for the second out of the inning. Steve Tolleson is grounded out to short. 2 away here in the Beloit first. Hey, we have a couple of more finals to report on the State Farm Major League scoreboard at Miller Park. The Brewers go to 5-0 as they edge the Diamondbacks 5-4. And before over 40,000, who I'm sure were rather cold at Wrigley Field, the Cubs shaded the Redbirds, handed them their second straight loss, 3-2 Chicago. Ball one is low to Paul Kelly, the shortstop. And a ground ball up the middle and off the glove of the diving second baseman Larry Infante for a 2-out single. Paul Kelly smashed it hard, and once it got past the mound, I didn't think Larry Infante had much of a chance, but he made a good effort. Paul Kelly collects his 4th hit of the series, and he's aboard with 2 out. We gave you a final now from Kauffman Stadium. The Royals have turned back the White Sox 4-3. Don't take that Kansas City Ball Club lightly. They're trying to resurrect their organization to its past glory and had a miserable season last year. And I really have a lot of empathy for a guy like Buddy Bell. He's been shackled with some very poor ball clubs in his 10-year managerial career, but he may get it done in Kansas City. Ball one low to the batter, and now a high fly ball by Henry Sanchez. It's a fair ball, and is it no foul now behind third, and in shallow left, Henley Stacia called off Travis Schlichting and gloved it. Henry Sanchez, who ended last night's game with a walk-off home run, has popped out to short to end Beloit's first inning. It was Stacia in foul ground about 30 feet behind third base to make the catch. No runs for the Snappers, 1 hit in the first, no Kernel errors, and Beloit left 1 man on. Our look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard was brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Dale Thompson, Brad Dunn, Gary Schubat, and Al Shetler. We go to the second. No score. You're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Sylvia, you know that cruise you've always wanted?
Yeah?
Well, there it is.
That would be our house, Bob. Are you feeling all right, dear?
Well, this is so cool. Guarantee Bank will let us use the equity in our home to do just about anything we want. College tuition, a room addition, a cruise, and best of all, the interest may be tax deductible. Now do you see it? Ah, the sun, the waves, the tropical breezes.
Ooh, now I see it. It's a convertible. The sun on my face, the wind in my hair.
See your Guarantee Banker in Cedar Rapids, Marion, or Hiawatha, and use the equity in your home to do whatever you want, even if it's just to get out of the house.
The feel of the road, the roar of the engine.
The roar of the...
Hey, it's my kind of life. Keep your hands off my Porsche, Bobby boy.
Guarantee Bank.
Your kind of life.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Consult your tax advisor for interest deductibility. Some restrictions apply.
If you're looking to enhance your property's appearance, function, or value, make the experts at King's Material your most reliable teammate. Retaining walls? You bet. Custom patios? Bingo. Walkways and steps? King's Material says yes. King's Material has all the brick, concrete, and stone elements to make your landscaping, masonry, and architectural projects become a reality. To view the astonishing array of beautiful and innovative products King's Material can bring to your home, yard, or business, visit King's online at kingsmaterial.com.
Mark Trumbo lifts the first pitch of the second inning high into shallow straightaway center, and Trumbo halfway to second by the time Edward O'Valley puts it away. Mark Trumbo has flown to center, still looking to reach base for the first time in this series. The Colonel cleanup man retired on a fly ball to center. Well, here's Warner Madrigal. He's been a real bright spot for the Colonels. Runs have been hard to come by in this cold Wisconsin air, and strike one to Warner. He's 2 for 6 in this series, or 4 for 6 in this series, excuse me. Strike one in from right-hander Adam Hawes. Fastball at the knees, strike two. Hawes posted an impressive season line last year with Elizabeth, and he only gave up 38 hits in 59 innings, and he gets Madrigal swinging on a changeup. Warner gone on 3 pitches, second strikeout for the Beloit right-hander Adam Hawes. In 59 innings, Hawes allowed 38 hits, struck out 68 in 59 innings, walked 16 in 59 innings, and the league hit a paltry 183 against Adam Hawes last year in the Appalachian League. Patrick Riley up for the first time as a Colonel. This guy was a big part of the Orem Owls Pioneer League Championship last season, hit .308 in 41 games. He's out of the University of Arizona. Patrick Riley takes inside. That one buzzed right by his belt buckle. Colonels in their gray road uniforms. Red numbers trimmed in white. Hawes works quickly and fires home a strike. Breeze blowing in from center field. A royal blue batter's eye on the 8-foot-high plywood wall. Ball 2 just outside, a fastball. Now a pitch spanked foul straight back. Patrick Riley had a good cut at it. Patrick is a left-handed batter. And despite the cool, brisk afternoon, Adam Hawes is pitching bare-armed. Ball 3 is inside, and a full count now to Patrick Riley. 2 away, nobody on for the Colonels. No score, second inning. Payoff pitch. Golfed foul straight back. Big gap in the right center field alley as the center fielder, Edward O'Valley, doesn't think Patrick Riley can pull this right-hander. Oh, he has hammered one into that gap, way back at the wall, and down for extra bases. Patrick Riley is rounding second, and he'll hold on there with a booming 2-out double into that right center field alley that we described was wide open. Oh, Patrick Riley got a pitch to his liking on a 3-2 count, and I mean he sent it high and deep into the right center field gap for a double. And the Colonels have a 2-out scoring chance here in the top of the second.
Third baseman, number 40,
Travis Schlichting who had 2 hits last night. Looked good in his Kernel debut. A fella that you Midwest League fans are familiar with. He was the everyday third baseman for the Southwest Michigan Devil Rays in Battle Creek, Michigan last year. 4th-round pick of the Tampa Bay club in 2003. And he lofts one foul off to the right as Travis Schlichting. His family is from the Austin, Texas area, Round Rock. That's where Nolan Ryan and his sons own a ball club. In fact, they own a couple of teams in that league. A broken bat, one hopper to third. I'll be darned. Ortiz makes a good play and throws out Travis Schlichting. Travis was jammed, was strong enough to hit it on a one-hop line. Carlos Ortiz took a tricky hop and vacuumed it in and got Travis Schlichting. So the Kernels get a 2-out double from Patrick Riley, but can't bring him home. No runs in the second. 1 hit for the Kernels. There were no Beloit errors. The Kernels leave their first stranded of this young afternoon. Great to have you with us. Beloit coming to bat in the bottom of the second. Kernels nothing, Snappers nothing, and you're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Reading stimulates a child's imagination, increases their mastery of subject matter, improves their spelling and vocabulary, and opens up new worlds of discovery. That's why Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels are teaming up to encourage elementary students throughout the community to read. Kernels players will visit 38 elementary schools this spring to talk with students about the benefits of reading. Girls and boys will then be rewarded with nifty prizes for achieving reading milestones. Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels, proud to stand behind our community's youth through reading.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe, from me to you. A tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool, but pepper is a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this.
I'm a pepper,
Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mashup of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Woo! Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Edward Ovale, O-V-A-L-L-E, is first up for Beloit here in their second, and a breaking pitch just downstairs from lefty Kelly Shear. Tall kid who wears his Red Sox up high. Ooh, a change-up and a swing and a miss. Shear pulled the string on that one. Ovale is a right-handed batter. 0 for 3, hit by a pitch in Game 1 here Thursday night. Didn't play last night. Swing and a miss on another changeup. Now the right-handed batter steps out. He's from the Dominican Republic, 20 years old. Hit .285 as a regular with Elizabethton last season. A third changeup, and this one's knuckled foul right off the bat of the on-deck hitter Eli Tintor. PRC, proud to support the communities where their employees live and work, and this season PRC's Community Care will be bringing food home to our community every time the Kernels sock a home run. A foul at the feet of the batter keeps him alive, 1-2. That's right, PRC's Community Care Home Runs for the Hungry campaign will help reduce hunger in our community. PRC will donate $25 to the Haycap Food Reservoir for every Kernel home run smacked this season. And wouldn't it be nice to chalk up $75 or so for the Haycap Food Reservoir, thanks to PRC, this afternoon. Ground ball to short, backhanded by Stacia, and a bullet throw across the diamond for the first out of the inning. I tapped Todd Brummelkamp on the shoulder to let him concur with me. It'd be great to have 3 Kernel home runs this afternoon. Todd said, why not $100? 4 of them. Well, I'm with you there, Todd. Edward Ovale has grounded out to short. Backhanded play by Henley Stacia. The batter, Eli Tintor. And a high fly ball into right, glasses down, Madison Edwards underneath, and staggers, catches it, and kerplops onto the lush green grass in right field. That was an adventure, to say the least, but Eli Tintor retired on a high fly ball to right field. Man, Madison Edwards broke to his left and then had to backpedal, come back to his right. He caught the ball, then, as I said, kind of crumpled to the grass. A 4-point landing, a soft landing, and 2 away here in the second inning. Caleb Moore was a handful in the first game of this series. He was 1 for 4, didn't play last night. He's out of East Tennessee State University. And the right-handed batter takes low and now golfs one into the Colonel right field bullpen. Those guys are getting what little sunshine can be had in the corner of a ballpark. You tuck yourself in a corner and you have to be prepared to be in the shadowland. Shear's changeup dips low. Kelly Shear, it's spelled S-H-E-A-R-E-R, a 6'3" southpaw. Rocks and delivers, and a shot in the left center field gap for extra bases. It's cut off by Brad Kuhn. He'll throw to second and hold the runner to a batter to a long single. Boy, did Brad Kuhn make a great defensive play. He took a double away from Caleb Moore, and that's important in a scoreless game. Brad Kuhn got on his horse and galloped to his right into the left center field alley, and then made a strong throw into Larry Infante, and he took a double away from Caleb Moore with a very good defensive play. So Caleb is aboard at first with Beloit's second hit of the afternoon, and a lefty against lefty matchup has Dwayne White taking a curve downstairs for ball one. Caleb Moore leading away at first, being held by Mark Trumbo. And a changeup in the dirt. Once again, Brett Martinez shows why the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim are so very, very enamored with his defensive skills. He just calmly put his chest in the shape of a spoon and blocked that pitch. And now a little roller down the third baseline. Schlichting grabs, throws it away. Let's see if the runner can score from first. Caleb Moore's rounding third. They hold him up, and that'll be, in all likelihood, a hit and an error. Yes, an infield single. That ball was cued right off the end of the batter's bat. Dwayne White squibbed it with all sorts of English on it. Now, Travis Schlichting made a good play to backhand it in the dirt next to the bag, and then perhaps not as wise a decision to heave it across the diamond, and he had too much on it. It sailed over the head of Mark Trumbo, and so let's credit Dwayne White with an infield single, and then charge Travis Schlichting with a two-base throwing error that allows Caleb Moore, who was running all the way with two out, to go to third base. And now Kelly Shear will try to pitch around some misfortune and keep this a scoreless game. Giancarlos Ortiz, the number 9 hitter, batting for the first time, second and third, two out. A broken bat roller to short. Stacia up with it, throw right there. And Kelly Shear pitches around some trouble and keeps this a scoreless contest. Giancarlos Ortiz broke his bat, and he rolled out to shortstop. No runs for Beloit in the second, 2 hits, 1 Kernel error. The Snappers strand a pair. They've left 3. And we head to the third. It's still scoreless, Kernels and Beloit. And you're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Who's that cool cooking man? King of the grill, who's your patio?
It's time for Clement's Great Grill Challenge. If someone asks you, what's cooking, Daddy-O, tell them Clement's is always lean and juicy. The other guys have more fat, more flare-ups, and shrinking taste. Avoid unnecessary flare-ups. Never substitute fat for flavor. Always grill Clement's.
King of the grill, man. The grill's hot, he's cool. Who's your patio?
John Rogers back with you here in Beloit with a couple of important dates to mark on your calendar for Peck's Flower and Garden Shop. A visit to Peck's, that is. There's a free rose bush care seminar this Tuesday evening at Peck's at 7 o'clock. And I'm going to encourage you to go as long as you take your radio with you, because we'll be broadcasting Game 2 of our 3-game series to open up our home season at home against Peoria, 7 o'clock in the evening at PEX, a free Rosebush Care seminar. That's this Tuesday, April 11th. The Easter Bunny will be at PEX a week from today, April 15th, the day before Easter, from 10 to 4. So visit the Easter Bunny at PEX a week from today, 10 to 4. PEX Flower and Garden Shop, they've been growing with the Cedar Rapids area since 1956. They're celebrating their 50th year serving our community. Let's get back to some Halo happenings from last night as the Kernels bat in the top of the third inning. No score here in Beloit. Here's a familiar name, a guy that Kernan Ronan, the Kernel pitching coach, was so proud of. When we put Nick Green into the starting rotation last year, he blossomed, and he led Rancho Cucamonga to a season-opening win against Bakersfield. Here's a line drive, a sinking liner into left, a base hit for Madison Edwards. Madison Edwards greets Adam Hawes with a base hit, a rope into left. Edwards, a left-handed batter, went the other way and stroked it hard in front of Dwayne White. And the Kernels have their second hit of the afternoon. 1 on, nobody out. Let's see if Brett Martinez is bunting. Or will Bobby Magallanes play hit and run? I have a feeling he's going to put that runner in motion, Madison Edwards. He's not going, and a strike on the outside corner. Nick Green got the win in the Cal League last night for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. He went 5 innings, allowed 5 hits, struck out 5. And a former Colonel, we remember him from 4 years ago when he was just 18 years old, Kevin Jepson, got the save. So what does that tell you? Perhaps the Angels are going to try to make Jepson into a closer. Look out, a pitch inside, ball 1 to Brett Martinez. Josh LeBlanc, who we really missed during the early part of last season when he hurt his hamate bone. He had 2 runs driven in for Rancho. Martinez, with the runner going, rolls 1 foul, backhanded in front of Bobby Magallanes, coaching at third by Giancarlos Ortiz. The Rockwell Collins Players' Choice Award winner last year, Freddie Sandoval, had a double, so did Drew Toussaint. So good for those 2005 Kernels, now 2006 Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. They won last night. Martinez hits one high in the air to center, way back, and tracking it down is Edward Ovalle. Oh, Brett got good wood on that 1-1 pitch and hit it high in the air. It stroked it a bit off the end of the bat, and it hung up in left center for Ovalle, and he caught it moving to his right. Brett Martinez is flown out for the first out of the Kernel third inning.
Number 15, Brad Gould.
What about Arkansas, you ask? Well, Todd Brummelkamp, the Kernel Media Relations Director, has that base covered too. Halo happenings. And Arkansas went to 2-0. They won behind former Kernel right-hander Stephen Shell. He went 6 innings, struck out 5 as the Travelers beat the Springfield Cardinals 4-3. Brandon Wood had an RBI. So did Mike Elward, former Kernel. Runner goes, and a pitch swatted into the screen. Strike 1 to Brad Kuhn. Well, we're going to continue to commend Kernel manager Bobby Magallanes. We saw this last year, a Kernel club that didn't score runs very easily, and Bobby, time and time again, trying to generate offense, put on the hit and run. He did it just now, and Kuhn did his job. He got the bat on the ball and fouled it back. Now Brad rattles 1 foul into the Kernel first base dugout, strike 2. Edwards aboard at first with 1 away in the Kernel third. No score here in Beloit. Temperature holding at 46 degrees. Now Brad calls time and steps out. Tonight for Rancho Cucamonga, they visit Bakersfield. Former Kernel right-hander Rafael Rodriguez will start. A tap to the pitcher should be a double play. Throw to second, out. Shortstop to first, out. and Brad Kuhn rattles into a inning-ending 1-6-3 twin killing. A one-hopper right back to the mound went 1-6-3. So, in the third for the Kernels, a leadoff single, but no runs, one hit. There were no Beloit errors. The Kernels leave one and have stranded a pair. Now we head to the bottom of the third inning, and on this sunshiny, crisp Saturday afternoon, it's the Kernels nothing, the Snappers nothing. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. Do you, Susan Smith, take Giuseppe Florentino? You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared at Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for real Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? Hey, my hair is my trademark. I gotta be able to count on a good cut and stuff to keep my hair looking thick, even if it's not.
I get a good cut, no long wait, a smile, and a little something left over in my wallet.
I get little trims that keep my hair long and healthy, and stuff to make it loose and curly one day, straight and sassy the next.
With expert stylists trained in the latest trends and techniques and your favorite professional styling and hair care products, you'll always get what you're looking for at Cost Cutters. At Cost Cutters, you can always count on convenient, affordable, professional care and products that help you create just the style you want. At Cost Cutters, you'll always get a little more.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? A slick, clean cut, great highlights, and a little wig from the hottest stylist I've ever seen.
More of what you're looking for, just yourself.
Fast-moving affair, Game 3 of this season-opening series in Beloit, and the Snappers have had our number. They whipped us 9 out of 12 times last year, and the first 2 in this series. So we're due to give them a taste of their own medicine. Still a chance for the Kernels with a win this afternoon to pull even in this series if they could win the finale tomorrow. Strike one is in to Terrence Patterson from Colonel lefty Kelly Shear. The Kernel outfield plays Terrence straight away. He's a right-handed batter, and there's a changeup in the dirt for ball one. Jack Rader, Kernel General Manager, must be smiling ear to ear because the forecast I'm hearing here in southern Wisconsin is A-OK for opening day Monday at our ballpark. Swing and a miss, strike 2. I heard earlier this morning, listening to several Chicago radio stations, that we're going to be in the mid-60s with sunshine on Monday for our noon home opener. A ground ball base hit deep in the hole into left field it goes for Terrence Patterson. Terrence pulled that pitch from the Kernel lefty to the left of Schlichting and underneath the outstretched mitt, backhand attempt by Henley Stacia. And Beloit has their 4th hit of the day. It'll be interesting to see if they try to run against the Kernel lefty and his battery mate Brett Martinez. Martinez has thrown out all 3 Snapper runners who have tried to steal second in this series. So we might look for a bunt and run or a hit and run. Ball one, high and away, a fastball. The gates open at 11 Monday morning for our home opener against the Chicago Cub farmhands, the Peoria Chiefs, skippered by Jody Davis. A bunt, and Martinez will barehand, throws to first for the out. Brett was all set to gun it to second, but then thought a little bit better of it and winged his peg to Mark Trumbo for the out. A sacrifice bunt by Steve Tolleson. It went Martinez to Trumbo, 2-3.
Number 5, Paul Kelly.
Down to second, Terrence Patterson. The bunt only went 6 feet in front of the plate. It stayed within the confines of the dirt batting circle where Brett Martinez pounced on it. The first 1,000 of you Kernel fans to come through the gates on Monday morning for our home opener will be treated to a miniature replica stadium from Collins Community Credit Union and a magnet schedule for the entire season Compliments of Mercy Medical Center. Ball one low to Paul Kelly, who singled his first time up. Ground ball off the side of the mound to second. Larry Infante traps it against his midsection and whips his throw to first for the second out of the inning. On to third goes Terrence Patterson. He's there with two away in this scoreless duel in the bottom of the third inning.
Now batting first baseman and our O'Leary Dental Cleanup.
Henry Sanchez is the batter.
Henry Sanchez.
Sanchez walloped a two-out solo shot over the 380 mark in frigid conditions here in the bottom of the ninth inning last night. His teammates gathered around home plate to greet him on that game-winning home run. First pitch swinging, he golfs it foul into the third base snapper dugout. Does Henry Sanchez. He looks like a man among boys in that Beloit uniform. He looks like a young Andres Galarraga. Big fellow, right-handed batter. They list him at 6'3", 260. It looks like he's using about a 46-ounce war club. Ball one in the dirt. From Kelly Shear, trying to keep Beloit from taking the lead here in the bottom of the third. Kernels have never led in this series. Shear is working from the stretch. He comes set just above the belt and the 1-1. Strike two called on the inside corner. This Kelly Shear, hard to believe that he was signed by our parent club, the Angels, as a free agent. Ooh, a changeup just low from Kelly for ball two. This is his third year of professional baseball. From the great state of Texas, Missouri City, Texas. Patterson at third, two away in the third inning. A curve and a swing and a miss. Henry Sanchez down on strikes, and Kelly Shear pitches around a leadoff single to keep Beloit from scoring here in the third inning. No runs for the Snappers, one hit. There were no Kernel errors. Another Snapper stranded. They've left four. We go to the top of the fourth inning on this beautiful but cool Saturday afternoon, and it's still the Kernels nothing and the Snappers nothing. You're tuned to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Springtime. That time of year when your heating system still runs some, but it's also a time when your air conditioning can be running too. Who do you call when either of them fail? Never fear, the A-Team is near. The A-Team from Ahern Plumbing and Heating. They can inspect and ensure that your heating and cooling system is ready to go when you need it. 24 hours a day, call them the A-Team from Ahern Plumbing and Heating. Call 393-4872 for Ahern Plumbing and Heating.
Advanced Systems, the leader in office technology, is like a great baseball coach when it comes to office productivity. Advanced Systems makes the most of your team. They do it with the latest technology for office productivity from Canon. They're also like a great trainer. Advanced Systems Advanced Life Support makes sure your office equipment runs at peak levels and fixes it fast if things go wrong. Hit it over the fence with Canon technology from Advanced Systems. Call 832-8291.
This is for the 21st century with Advanced Systems.
Coffee works when it's important to you. Coffee works, let your work shine through. Quality coffee, we do it for less. Don't settle for second best. Coffee works, computer center. Coffee works, we do it better when you think of coffee. Think of Coffee Works. Coffee works, coffee works.
Kernels with momentum in this game three, and I say that because Beloit had a runner at second with one out, and their numbers 3 and 4 hitters up, but Kelly Shear took care of both, and so the Kernels have momentum as they bat against right-hander Adam Hawes, top of the fourth inning. Strike in from the right-hander to Larry Infante. Larry walked in the first, but was caught trying to steal second, and the next delivery is inside, a fastball, 1-1. Third baseman Giancarlos Ortiz plays even with the bag and 10 feet off the third base line. Larry Infante tried to drag a bunt up the first base line and missed, strike two. We talked about the excitement coming up Monday morning with the gates opening at 11 for the noon start. $1 hot dogs. every Monday, including opening day. There's a ground ball to deep short. Paul Kelly has it and throws in time. Larry Infante thrown out in a heap of dust as he dove in head first, and he had a base hit taken away from him by Paul Kelly. Boy, we haven't seen Kelly play shortstop in this series. He made a very good play, shuffling deep into the hole. I thought that ball, once it got by the diving third baseman, was a sure base hit. But Larry Infante was thrown out from deep short. Now a ground ball to first. Easy pickings for Henry Sanchez, and he steps on the bag ahead of Henley Stacia. Quickly 2 gone here in the Kernel 4th inning. No score. And to cap things off, not only Monday afternoon, but Tuesday night and Wednesday night, Hall of Famer, former Cub great Fergie Jenkins will be at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Fergie will be signing autographs to support his foundation. You'll pay a fee, but Fergie will take a moment, and I'm sure Mark Trumbo is hit by a curveball. It was a pitch that slipped out of the paw of Adam Hawes, and Trumbo very calmly trots to first. The ball hit him in the rump, so he'll be fine. 1 on, 2 out for the Kernels for Warner Madrigal.
Designated hitter, number 27, Warner Madrigal.
Fergie Jenkins. The one time I saw Ferguson Jenkins, and I can't remember where it was, he was wearing blue jeans, a cowboy hat, and cowboy boots. And Todd Brummelkamp will be along a little bit later this afternoon to share a very interesting story with you about Fergie Jenkins. He has a connection, believe it or not, to DeWitt, Iowa. Ball 2 is low to Warner Madrigal. I can't remember what happened to Fergie and Orlando Cepeda. After each of those guys retired, they somehow got involved with the wrong people and overcame some things in their lives, pre or post baseball, but both have turned into great citizens. A ground ball to deep short. The long throw to first is not in time. The first baseman juggled, and on to third goes Trumbo. A controversial call by the base umpire, and legging out an infield single was Warner Madrigal. We had to wait. The throw beat Madrigal by Paul Kelly, another outstanding play as he threw from the air. He was airborne and had enough on his throw to get it to first, but apparently Henry Sanchez was bobbling or juggling the ball. And alert base running by Mark Trumbo. He went all the way to third as the Snappers were a little bit upset with the call by the base umpire, and now Patrick Kelly could give the Kernels the lead. Runners at the corners with 2 away. Kelly, a left-handed batter, shoots it into center field, and it is caught. Oh, another tough break for the Kernels. Will anybody sell a break? Because if they will, we'll buy one. Tough break for the Kernels. Patrick Kelly hit it right on the button, a sizzling liner, sinking, and Edward Ovalle came on and caught it in center field. Oh, we need a break. No runs for the Kernels in the 4th. 1 hit, a hit batter, no Beloit errors. The Kernels leave 2 and have stranded 4. And after 3.5, we're really going along quickly in this game. It's still scoreless between the Kernels and the Snappers. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Kernel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
Meet Jim. When it's nice out, he spends weekends in his yard trying to kill weeds.
Gotcha.
Meet Dave. He spends weekends on the green. That's because Greg's Lawn Service takes care of his lawn. Mowing, fertilizing, pruning, and, weed control. Greg does the big jobs, too. Landscaping, retaining walls, curb edging, and patios. So when you've had enough of those little devils...
Aha! Yes.
Call 393-0101. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sedlock, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. We all know how quickly life can change. You buy a new car or a new home. Your family is blessed with a new baby. Your teenager starts driving the family car. I'm here to help with a complete line of insurance plans to give you protection when you need it the most. Pekin Insurance has been in business of insuring people for 85 years. I'm here to put your interests first. Please visit me, Tanya Sedlock, at the Andrews Agency.
Bottom of the fourth inning in a fast-moving Game 3 of this four-game season-opening series, and it's no score between the Kernels and Beloit. Edward Oval takes just low from lefty Kelly Shear. Temperature 46 degrees, a cloudless blue sky and sunshine here in southern Wisconsin. A high drive smacked to deep left over the head of Patrick Riley and off the wall. Riley will pick it up with his bare hand, heave it into the cutoff man Henley Stacia, and arriving into second with a stand-up double is Edward Oval. And you're not going to believe this. That is the 11th extra base hit by the Snappers in this series. And it's their 5th hit of this game. So if Kelly Shear can pitch out of this jam, he will have done something. Runner at second, nobody out for Beloit here in the fourth inning. No score. The batter, Eli Tintor from Hibbing, Minnesota. Tintor, a right-handed batter, flew out to right his first trip to the plate today. Kernels had runners at the corners with two out in the top of this inning, and I mean Patrick Riley pulverized the first pitch he saw, but lined it into center. And cutting on the first pitch from Shear and rolling it foul into the Snapper third base dugout is Eli Tintor. Tintor is in his fourth year of professional baseball. He's 21 years old. Ball 2 just low to Eli. Or check that, ball 1. The Twins and Red Sox organizations share a philosophy that I want to comment on here in the fourth inning. As Tintor goes the other way and loops one foul into the first base stands, they both take care of their own area. In other words, if there's any young man with a remote chance of establishing himself as a professional baseball player in North Dakota, South Dakota, or Minnesota, the Twins draft him. Oh, a nasty pitch in the dirt, and it ricochets to the left of home plate, and Brett Martinez is able to prevent a wild pitch with another fantastic stop. Well, you think about some of the great guys that have played for the Twins. Terry Steinbach, Paulie Molitor, Davey Winfield. Now, granted, not all those guys were drafted by the Twins. Terry Steinbach was. But if there's a kid that can play baseball in the state of Minnesota, the Twins aren't going to let him get away. A base hit into left, and Patrick Riley will come up throwing, and he throws on the fly to home to hold the runner at third. Now we're in a heap of trouble. First and third, nobody out for the Snappers here in the fourth inning. Well, look at Joe Mauer. The Twins drafted him as the first player taken a few seasons back, and he's their everyday catcher now. And the Red Sox do the same thing. If there's a youngster in the New England area, whether it be Rhode Island or Maine or New Hampshire or Vermont or Massachusetts, the Red Sox draft him. They don't let him get away. Those are the two teams, in my opinion, that do the best of keeping their guys within the organizations that they grew up admiring and loving. Well, is Rocco Baldelli from Minnesota, Todd? Or is he from New England? He's from New England, and he was drafted, I think, by the Devil Rays, or was he originally? Here's a throw to third, and it hits the runner in the back, and nobody advances. Ball 1 to the batter. Was he originally drafted by the Red Sox? Oh, by the Devil Rays. Yes, Rocco Baldelli is a very fine prospect for the Tampa Bay club. First and third, nobody out for Beloit as they try to break through with the afternoon's first runs. Kelly Shear has his sign with runners at the corners. The pitch is swung on and missed for strike one. Boy, Kelly could sure use a strikeout, pop-up, or double play. Kernel infield is at double play depth. The only two fellas that might come home would be Schlichting at third and Mark Trumbo at first. Caleb Moore singled into center his first time up. And he took a home run cut and tipped it foul into the glove of Brett Martinez, strike two. Kernels have been out hit 6-3 in this scoreless tussle. Todd Brummelkamp and I concur on one thing, and that is, even though we've dropped the first two games of this series, the Kernels have done a number of things very well. Brett Martinez has sparkled. The starting pitching's been solid. The defense has been good. The pitching staff hasn't walked many men. The only thing missing has been a healthy dose of offense, and that'll come around. Ball two in the dirt to the right-handed hitter, Caleb Moore. Now ball three in the dirt. The runner will go from first to second on a wild pitch, so that eliminates the double play possibility. Don't blame Brett Martinez. He did it again. He blocked a pitch in the dirt. It rolled about 15 feet in front of home plate, and scampering down to second was Eli Tintor. Now the count full to Caleb Moore. The afternoon's biggest pitch thus far is headed home. And it's nubbed foul right underneath the feet of the on-deck hitter, Dwayne White. 325 down the lines here at Pullman Field. 8-foot-high plywood wall. We're in a residential neighborhood. There's ball four downstairs, and they're loaded up with nobody out. A double, a single, a wild pitch, and a walk, and now not much wiggle room for Kelly Shear. Here comes Kernan Ronan out of the Kernel dugout to pay a visit to his left-hander. And there's some action starting to stir in the Kernel bullpen. The Corridor Classic, the third annual I-380 Corridor Classic, set for Wednesday, April 26th at Veterans Memorial Stadium. And all proceeds from that event, the ball game between the Iowa Hawkeyes and UNI Panthers, all the proceeds will go to benefit the American Diabetes Association. This year's theme is Kiss a Pig and Fly Away. That means any of you who purchase a raffle ticket for $5 are automatically entered in a drawing for $4,900, a travel voucher. And we're going to see who that man is warming up in the Kernel bullpen. He's up on his feet. In fact, we're going to pull him out of our bullpen stack and get him ready because he may be the next pitcher in this game. For tickets to the third annual Corridor Classic between UNI and Iowa, call 896-7560. 896-7560. Dan Hawkins of Floridian warming up in the Kernel right field bullpen. Bases loaded, and the first pitch is downstairs to Dwayne White. We're scoreless, but Beloit's knocking on the door. Let's see if Kelly Shear can somehow stem the tide with snapper runners leading away at each base. Ball two is low and away from the Kernel lefty. Kernan Ronan paid a visit to the mound. Try to settle Kelly Shear down. He's working from the stretch. Double play ball to short. Stacia has it. Steps on second. Out. Throw to first. Out. Double play. A run scores. How about Henley Stacia? How about Kelly Shear? Edward Oval scores on a hot shot off the bat of Dwayne White right at the feet of Henley Stacia. He was hit so hard that Henley lost the handle, picked it up, and instead of underhanding to Larry Infante, Henley stepped on the base, forcing Caleb Moore, and then gunned out the batter, Dwayne White, a 6-3 double play. That was a big, big double play. 1-0 Beloit, runner at third, and strike one on the outside edge to Giancarlos Ortiz. Big, big double play turned by the Kernels. Now the trick is to get the number 9 hitter. Ball 1 is up and away from Shear. Outfield plays Jan Carlos slightly to pull. And a good-looking pitch was ruled low by the plate umpire. Ball 2 to the number 9 hitter Ortiz, who grounded out to short to end the second inning. A ground ball to short. Stacia has this one. The throw is high but good as Mark Trumbo had to reach up to snare it. And what a fantastic pitching performance in that fourth inning by the Colonel lefty. He gets Giancarlos Ortiz to wrap out to short. Beloit had the bases loaded with nobody out, and they only came away with 1 run on 2 hits. A wild pitch, no Colonel errors, a double play. The Snappers leave a runner and have stranded 5 on the day. We head to the top of the 5th inning in Beloit, where the Snappers are on top of the Kernels 1-0, and this is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
If your spring cleaning plans include throwing out household furniture items, be sure to follow the instructions on the orange bulky item collection flyer you received in the mail. Up to 4 items such as couches, mattresses and box springs, dressers, wooden desks and bookshelves would be picked up by city crews. However, appliances, TVs, computer components and scrap metal will not be collected. Your orange flyer will tell you where to dispose of such prohibited items. Thanks for using your orange flyer as your spring cleanup resource.
John Rogers back with you at Pullman Field in Beloit with an important word about Peck's Flower and Garden Shop. Peck's is celebrating a milestone. They were founded in 1956, celebrating 50 years of growing in the Cedar Rapids area. Stop in soon and see what's new and hot in flowers and plants at Peck's Flower and Garden Shop. For instance, this Tuesday, April 11th, a free rose bush care seminar at Peck's. And the Easter Bunny will be at Peck's this coming Saturday from 10 to 4. That's right, Easter Eve from 10 to 4. Visit Peck's and introduce your boys and girls, your children, to the Easter Bunny. The knowledgeable staff at Peck's will gladly add all the expert, helpful advice you need to make your plants grow their best this spring. Peck's Flower and Garden Shop, proud to stand behind the Kernels. Well, here we go to the top of the 5th inning, 1-0 Beloit. Ball 1 is high and away to Travis Schlichting, the lower third of the Colonel order here in the top of the 5th inning. Time to get that computer revved up for our Bruce Moore Bonanza. In the bottom half of this 5th inning, your chance to earn a prize from Bruce Moore. You can think about participating or take action right now. Log on to www.brucemore.org. That's BRUCEMOUR. We've had Morgan Hamer and Will Elmer earn prizes from Bruce Moore. Travis Schlichting takes a strike and now cranks the 2-1 pitch foul outside third. It's 2-2 to Travis. Todd Brummelkamp will be along to visit with us in the 6th inning. Tell us that story about Fergie Jenkins. Big yellow hammer. Strike 3 called. Travis Schlichting down on strikes. 1 away here in the 5th inning.
Remainder of the inning. 2-1 on the Miller products for the remainder of the inning.
That's the 3rd strikeout
number 29,
for Adam Hawes. Madison Edwards owns one of the Colonel 3 hits. 1-0 Beloit, top of the 5th inning, and a towering pop-up near the pitcher's mound. Who wants it? The pitcher clears out of the way, and Giancarlos Ortiz drops it. Giancarlos Ortiz, the third baseman, dropped it in front of the mound, and it's going to be an error on the third baseman, and Madison Edwards is aboard at first on the second error of the afternoon the first error committed by Beloit. The Kernels have been charged with an error. Well, I know I'm going to commit baseball blasphemy here, but I still think, and I still believe this, that we baby pitchers entirely too much. Why can't a pitcher be taught to catch a pop-up? And this isn't something germane just to the Minnesota organization. It's across baseball. If there's a pop-up to the pitcher's mound, all heck breaks loose. It's like a Chinese fire drill, and I don't understand why. let the pitcher field his position. When you got guys crisscrossing and coming in from angles trying to bail out the pitcher, that's what's going to happen. A pitcher is the second closest man to the batter, and he is usually a pretty good athlete or he wouldn't be a pitcher. So let him field his position. And I'm not criticizing the snappers. I'm commenting on the state of coddling pitchers throughout baseball.
For all your autoglass needs, call Autoglass Specialist Sid Rockford at 874.
Can you imagine Kenny Boyer or Mike Shannon calling Bob Gibson off of a pop-up like that? Gibby would have smoke fuming from his ears. Here's a swing on a 1-1 pitch and a foul by Brett Martinez. It's 1-2 to Brett. We'll have our Bruce Moore Bonanza for you in the bottom half of the fifth inning, a chance for you to earn a prize from Bruce Moore. Log on now to www.brucemore.org. That's BRUCEMORE. Martinez lays off a fastball high and away, 2-2. I smell a hit and run. Brett flew out to center, deep left center, his first time up. Madison Edwards ran out that pop-up. There's another good lesson. He almost tried for second, but then thought better of it after Ortiz dropped his pop-up in front of the mound. Swing and a tipped foul by the batter Martinez, and Brett down on strikes, and that is strikeout number 4 for Adam Hawes. Yes, offense has been tough to come by. The Kernels, in 22 2/3 innings in this series, have 1 run to their credit. So we're due to break out of it and support our starting pitchers who have done pretty good work in this series. A little broken bat looper to short. It's snared by Paul Kelly. Brad Kuhn broke his bat and pops to short. 0-for-3 for the Kernel leadoff batter so far today. And no runs for the Kernels in the fifth inning on no hits, 1 Beloit error, and the Kernels leave 1 aboard, our 5th left stranded today. We're halfway home in Beloit, and the Kernels are right on the heels of the Snappers, trailing 1-0. Our Bruce Moore Bonanza comes your way in the bottom of the fifth inning, so stay with us on the Kernel Radio Network.
Step up to the plate this summer and nominate your favorite Cedar Rapids Kernel for the Rockwell Collins Fans Choice Award. Every time you catch a Kernels game, fill out a Fans Choice ballot to recognize the efforts of your favorite ball players. Then drop the ballot in the designated box at the souvenir stand. During the season's final homestand, Rockwell Collins will present the Fans Choice Trophy to the player with the most votes and make a donation to that player's favorite charity. Rockwell Collins and the Cedar Rapids Kernels, teammates working for a better community.
Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communications.
You've worked hard, and you're finally your own boss. As a business owner, you may not want to hear the word liability, but it comes with the territory. Smart business owners protect their investments with a business owner's policy from Neighbor Insurance Services, your professional Pekin insurance agency in Hiawatha. Neighbor Insurance Services can show you how to secure the right amount of protection for your business at affordable rates. Your business is important. See Neighbor Insurance Services in Hiawatha for business owners insurance.
Well, here we go with our Bruce Moore Bonanza. 1-0 Beloit as the Snappers face Colonel lefty Kelly Shear here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. You've logged on to www.brucemore.org for your chance to answer our Bruce Moore Bonanza. Here it is. The first of 4 seasonal landscape hikes will be held on Friday, April 28th. Who will lead participants off the beaten path and into the natural areas of the Bruce Moore Estate? Who will lead the seasonal landscape hike Friday, April 28th, off the beaten path and into the natural areas of the Bruce Moore Estate? Email us your answer to that Bruce Moore Bonanza at John, John, at Kernels.com. And Todd Brummelkamp will be along and peruse the emails, and hopefully we'll have a winner. We need your name and answer and your address. Terrence Patterson on a 1-1 delivery takes a curve from southpaw Kelly Shear in the dirt for ball 2. 1-0 Beloit here in the 5th inning. A high fly ball stroked into deep left center. Brad Kuhn is drifting back and has it for the first out of the inning. Terrence Patterson skies to left center, 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Our Bruce Moore Bonanza question for your chance to earn a prize from Bruce Moore. The first of 4 seasonal landscape hikes will be held on Friday, April 28th on the grounds of Bruce Moore. Who will lead participants off the beaten path and into the natural areas of the Bruce Moore estate? Who will do that? Email us with your answer at John, John, at Kernels, Kernels.com. A strike is into Steve Tolleson, and now a bouncer off of Travis Schlichting's chest, and that'll likely be an error. It is on the Kernel third baseman. 1 on, 1 out. The second error committed by the Kernels, and this one a error by Travis Schlichting. 1 on, 1 out for Paul Kelly. Paul is 1 for 2 this afternoon.
RBI guy, number 5, Paul Kelly.
And we're going to check and see if we have any emails now. Here's a high drive in the air to left, and it's caught by Patrick Riley. Patrick Riley makes the catch on the shot into left field by Paul Kelly. Steve Tolleson holding it first. And thanks to Todd Brummelkamp, I've learned to open emails regarding the Bruce Moore Bonanza. And I'll be darned, we have a winner from Tampa, Florida. From Tampa, Florida, we have a winner, the Bruce Moore Gardener staff. The garden staff at Bruce Moore will lead the seasonal landscape hike at Bruce Moore on Friday the 28th of April, and the winner is Colonel newcomer Tim Madison's mom, Cassandra Madison. Cassandra, hope you can make it up to use your prize that we'll be mailing you from Bruce Moore. Strike 2 called to Henry Sanchez. That's right, it'll be the Bruce Moore Garden staff that will lead the first of 4 seasonal landscape hikes. The first one Friday, April 28th. They'll take you off the beaten path at Bruce Moore. Swing and a miss on a curveball. Henry Sanchez fans. No runs in the 5th for Beloit. No hits. 1 Kernel error, and the Snappers leave a runner. Their 6th stranded of the day. Again, our Bruce Moore Bonanza winner, Cassandra Madison from Tampa, Florida. She's not the mom of Tim Madison. My goodness, she's Tim's wife. Tim's wife. Excuse me, Cassandra. Tim Madison's wife has earned a prize from Bruce Moore. Todd Brummelkamp will visit with us during the 6th inning. As we head there, Beloit still leads the Kernels 1-0. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Jumpstart your future with learning from Kirkwood Community College. No matter what your age or previous work experience, you have new opportunities as close as your phone. 398-5517. Kirkwood has hundreds of choices for career and technical programs. Kirkwood has financial aid and support options to help you succeed, and Kirkwood has locally based centers to help you balance work, family, and learning. Kirkwood is ready when you're ready. Call Kirkwood Admissions today, 398-5517. Kirkwood, start here, go anywhere.
Convenience and trust, 2 things all of us want. At Tri-State Travel, we offer both. It's convenient for you to make 1 call or 1 visit to our office for all your travel needs. A 1-day tour, a cruise, a trip to Branson, to charter a motor coach. For 66 years, Tri-State Travel has been a name you can trust to provide quality products. Come see why you can trust us to provide the convenience you expect. Tri-State Travel now at our new location on 7th Street Southwest.
When it comes to auto insurance, Westside Agency in Palo, your professional Pekin insurance agency, will make certain you're properly insured with the right coverages and deductibles. Westside Agency will tell you about the money-saving discounts from Pekin Insurance. Multi-car discount, good student discount, loss-free discount, 45-plus auto discount, auto home discount, low mileage discount. To see if you qualify for any of these auto discounts that will lower your premiums, visit Westside Agency in Palo.
Through 5 innings, we've got a humdinger of a ball game here in Beloit. 1-0 Snappers. We're joined by Kernel Media Relations Director Todd Brummelkamp. Larry Infante takes a fastball for a strike. Boy, Hawes is still throwing hard. Todd, what's it going to take to get us some runs?
I don't know, John. The Minnesota Twins always have good pitching at the lower levels in the minor leagues, and our guys are just, they seem to be having a hard time getting hits off these guys.
Swing and a miss by Larry Infante, who's walked and grounded to short today. Hawes, the right-hander, misses high. There is a lefty starting to, I think that's a left-hander. He's holding his glove, and lefty just up on his feet in that left field bullpen for Beloit. And Todd, you have some good news to share with us from Jack Rader. Jack has a much more accurate weather forecast than the one I heard from the Chicago station, and I want you to share that good news about the opening day forecast in a moment. A pitch tomahawked into left center. Infante swung at ball 4 on a full count pitch, and he skies to the left fielder, Dwayne White, one away here in the Kernels' 6th inning. Alex Smith, an Australian, warming up for Beloit, we believe.
A Netherlander. He's from the Netherlands.
Oh, and from the Netherlands, not Australia.
Netherlanderite? I don't know how you say that.
Perhaps the batter, Henley Stacia, would know. He's from Curacao. Well, Todd, what's the prognosis for when the gates open at 11 on Monday?
Well, I don't know the exact temperature at 11 o'clock, but they are calling for 71 degrees and sunny on opening day, and that is just 12 degrees below the all-time high for April 10th in Cedar Rapids. 71 degrees and sunny as people come through the gates and get those miniature stadium replicas from Collins Community Credit Union and those magnet schedules from Mercy Medical Center.
Fantastic, Todd. I know you and I received an email from Jack Rader a little bit ago about that wonderful forecast. Henley Stacia sprays one foul. He's in the hole 1 and 2, and a grounder is short. Down to get it, Paul Kelly, and he throws in time. 2 away here in the Kernels' 6th inning. We're going to continue to focus on what we see in the positive column, and that is solid Kernel play defensively, pitching, base running, and concentration to be sure at the plate, but nothing in the way of run production going in this series so far for the Kernels. 1-0 Beloit, 2 gone in the 6th inning.
Now, I don't want to jinx him here, but you're talking about focusing on the positive, and this guy in the batter's box right now, Mark Trumbo, he's not struck out.
Grounder to third, to his left. Giancarlos Ortiz has it and throws Trumbo out, and that is another positive. Mark Trumbo has put the ball in play and still looking for his first hit of the season, but he wraps out to third, and that's another positive, is that Trumbo is making good contact here in the early going. The Kernels go 1-2-3 for the first time this afternoon. Todd will have the word on Fergie Jenkins. He has a connection to Todd's hometown in DeWitt, Iowa, and Fergie will be there Monday, along with the great things and the great weather for opening day. Through 5.5 at Pullman Field, Beloit clinging to a 1-0 lead over the Kernels, and you're listening to Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
We're here for your communication needs, internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners, we make a good team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communication.
It's unheard of, an industry first. A car and truck from the same manufacturer to win the coveted Motor Trend Car of the Year and Motor Trend Truck of the Year in the same year. And the award goes to Honda. Yes, the 2006 Honda Civic wins the Motor Trend Car of the Year, and the 2006 Honda Ridgeline wins for Motor Trend Truck of the Year. And you can find them both at Randy Kill Honda on Center Point Road Northeast. Randy Kill Honda is the home of confidence. Check out their huge selection of new inventory, including the Honda Civic Hybrid with fuel savings of up to 50 miles per gallon on the highway. You owe it to yourself to see why Motor Trend voted the Honda Civic and the Honda Ridgeline the Motor Trend Car and Motor Trend Truck of the Year for 2006. Visit Randy Kiel Honda in person on Center Point Road Northeast or online at randykiel.com. Randy Kiel Honda, where they treat you right.
Now batting center fielder.
A new Kernel pitcher as we open the bottom of the 6th inning. Right-hander Dan Hawkins. This call to the Kernel bullpen sponsored by U.S. Cellular. Get your wireless relief with Call Me Minutes only from U.S. Cellular. Hawkins to Edward Oval, and ball one low and away. Todd, Dan Hawkins was a big part of the Orem Owls Pioneer Championship team run.
That's right, John. He started last season in the bullpen, but eventually made his way into the starting rotation and started 10 games for Tom Kochman and the Orem Owls. As a matter of fact, Kochman is the Angel Scout that signed Hawkins out of St. Leo University down in Florida. Dan went 6-2, good enough to finish 4th in the Pioneer League in wins, and had a very respectable 3.32 ERA. Struck out 58 and walked 23 in 59 2/3 innings for the Owls last year in the Pioneer League.
Dan is fallen behind Edward Oval, 3-1. Edward doubled leading off the 4th and scored on a double play ball, the only run of the day so far. 1-0 Beloit, bottom of the 6th inning. Swing and a foul by the center fielder, batting 6th or 5th for Beloit. And Todd, we have to give Kelly Shear his due. He really pitched well, and pitched well under pressure this afternoon. A tap off the batter's fist, backhanded by Hawkins, and he fires to first to get Edward Oval. The play went 1-3. The unofficial line on Kelly Shear, 5 innings pitched. He allowed 1 run on 6 hits, struck out 2, and walked 1. What I liked about him, Todd, besides his poise, he changed speeds very effectively.
Yeah, that he did, and he did that in the exhibition game against Kirkwood Community College earlier in the week, too. But I think back on my 21st birthday, and I certainly wasn't that effective.
I popped foul off to the right by Eli Tintor. That kind of puts it in perspective, doesn't it, how young and poised these kids are. 1-0 Beloit. Tintor has flown to right and singled to left. Eli, a right-handed batter. Hawkins already has one mannerism that's unique, Todd. He does something that Rick Sutcliffe used to do. He wraps the ball behind him with his right wrist.
Well, if he can pitch like Rick Sutcliffe all year long, we'll take it.
Here's a slow roller to third, and a throw by Schlichting, not in time. The Kernels thought they had Eli Tintor. He went down in a cloud of dust as he tripped over the bag, and that's a cheap infield single for Eli Tintor. And I think Schlichting, Todd, I thought it was bang-bang at first. The call could have gone either way.
Interesting call by the umpire, and that's all we'll say about it.
Safe at first is Eli Tintor. Well, Todd, Fergie Jenkins is going to be at the ballpark for opening day and Tuesday night and Wednesday night, and it's ironic he'll be there when the Cub minor leaguers from Peoria visit Veterans Memorial Stadium. Fergie had his great years as a Cub. Here's a high drive slicing into the right field corner. It's trouble. It falls for extra bases. Heading towards third is Eli Tintor as Madison Edwards retrieves it. It's a Texas League double down the right field line for Caleb Moore. I'll tell you what, Todd, and I'm not belly aching too much. We just haven't gotten a break in this series.
Oh, and I'll tell you, John, we had a 50-50 shot of that umpire calling that ball foul. He had to think about it for a while before he pointed into fair territory there.
Madison Edwards just couldn't get there. I mean, he went half an acre to his left, and it dropped fair by a foot in the right field corner.
Not bad for a guy who catches.
Madison almost had it. It dropped to his left, fair. Now the Kernel infield in for the play at the plate in this 1-0 game. And they're going to walk Dwayne White to load the bases, so that'll give Todd a chance to share a very interesting story about Fergie Jenkins.
They weren't even here last year, but this guy killed us last year. I'm glad they're putting him on the base. Dwayne White, he made his debut last year against the Kernels and just lit us up. Well, Fergie Jenkins has ties to my hometown of DeWitt, which is just about an hour east of Cedar Rapids. Go on Highway 30 over there in Clinton County. A local businessman, a bar owner there in DeWitt, Chuck Cox. He was a traveling salesman, and one time, way back in the early 70s, he was up in Canada where Ferguson Jenkins lived. He was on a sales call, and he wanted to find where Fergie Jenkins, the great Cubs pitcher, lived at. Well, he stopped and rolled down the window and talked to a guy who was in a ditch clearing some brush on a property and asked where Fergie Jenkins lived. And the gentleman, who was bundled up in a big heavy overcoat, said, "Well, I can do you one better. You're looking at him." And Chuck didn't believe him, and so this man takes him inside his house, and sure enough, it was Cy Young Award-winning pitcher Fergie Jenkins. And now the two have stayed in touch over all these years. They're very good friends, and Fergie Jenkins still makes it to DeWitt about once a year to catch up with Chuck. And I have a feeling, I know Fergie's next stop in between Cedar Rapids and Peoria, or his next stop after Cedar Rapids is Peoria, and I wouldn't be surprised if Fergie stopped in DeWitt at TC's Point after and caught up with Chuck and maybe had a tenderloin on his way down to see the Chiefs.
Giancarlo Ortiz lifts one into left center. It should chase home a run. Eli Tintor will tag. Here's the throw from Patrick Riley, not in time. 2-0 Beloit. After the intentional walk to Dwayne White, Giancarlo Ortiz, the number 9 hitter, a marvelous piece of situational hitting. He got a pitch up in the zone, and he tomahawked it high in the air to left. Patrick Riley caught it. Eli Tintor scored standing up from third. 2-0 Snappers here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That's good work, Todd, from a number 9 hitter. Dan Hawkins wanted the ground ball or strikeout, and Giancarlo Ortiz foiled that. And it's 2-0, runners at first and second with 2 away for Terrence Patterson. Kernels still right in this game, though. Dandy breaking pitch from the tall right-hander Dan Hawkins.
John, you know I am not exactly an eternal optimist, but something tells me that these two teams here are the teams that we're going to be watching for that playoff spot throughout the first half. I think we're going to come around.
A ground ball to the right side and moving quickly to his left to scoop it and throw out the batter, Larry Infante. Terrence Patterson grounds to second, and Dan Hawkins in his first inning of relief surrenders a run on 2 hits. There were no Kernel errors, an intentional walk. Beloit strands a pair. They've left 8, and I would concur with Todd. Although this series hasn't been full of offense, the Kernels look good early on, and as we head to the last third of this game, it's Beloit 2 and the Kernels nothing. Todd will be with us for the 7th inning, and then we'll let him get back to his main duties, which are to garner all sorts of information about this Kernel Ball Club. We'll be telling you about a new hurler when the Kernels bat in the 7th. 2-0 Beloit. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Cedar Rapids' oldest wholesale greenhouse is also Cedar Rapids' full-service landscaping and lawn care center. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has been serving eastern Iowans for 50 years at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road, behind Guppy's on the Go. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has a full line of trees and shrubs like magnolias, maples, and lilacs. And for a limited time, buy any potted tree and Cedar Rapids Greenhouses will deliver and plant it free. If you're searching for the right beautification project, let the trained landscape designers at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses help you create a unique plan for your home. From retaining walls to ponds, waterfalls, and fountains, they'll work within your budget and taste, and they do free estimates. Lawn care featuring mowing, fertilization, seeding, sodding, aeration, dethatching, maintenance, and cleanup are all done with care and precision. For the highest quality and low prices, see the difference at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses, Eastern Iowa's full-service landscapers at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance in Cedar Rapids. I'd like to introduce you to an easy-to-understand, affordable life insurance plan with great benefits. It's simplified issue whole life from Pekin Insurance. The plan requires no medical exam, has guaranteed rates for life, and a guaranteed cash value. Life insurance made simple and affordable from Pekin Insurance. To learn more, contact me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
6 shutout innings from right-hander Adam Hawes. No runs in 6 innings. He gave the Kernels 3 hits, struck out 4 Kernels, walked 1 and hit 1. And let's see how the Kernels fare against southpaw Alex Smith. It's spelled, Todd, S-M-I-T.
That's right, John, and not only are they facing a southpaw, they're facing an Olympian. Smith, a member of the Dutch national team at the Athens Olympics.
He's a tall lefty, and he misses outside to Warner Madrigal. Now ball 2 down and into Warner.
The Minnesota Twins signed Smith as a free agent out of the Netherlands, gave him $800,000. They think he projects as a number 3 starter, although, according to Baseball America's scouting report on Smith, who comes in at number 30 on the Twins' top 30 prospect list, the bullpen may be his best option.
A strike to Warner, and now a cue shot off the end of the bat down the right field line. Eli Tintor on the run, and it sails into the Colonel bullpen for a long strike 2 to Warner.
Smith was in this league with Beloit to start last year, but he went 1-9 with a 5.98 ERA in 14 games. So the Twins sent him down to Elizabethton in the Appalachian League. 6-1, 1.97 ERA in 21 games. He appeared exclusively out of the bullpen for the E-Twins.
What a turnaround. Here's a high, lazy fly ball into right center, and that one's hauled in by Edward Oval, 1 away here in the 7th inning, 2-0 Beloit.
And with Elizabethton, he pitched 46 innings, struck out 86 batters, and held opponents to a 157 batting average. That's either a typo, which I don't think it is, or one heck of a season. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Alex Smith gets Warner Madrigal. Patrick Riley has one of the 3 Colonel hits. He tries to bunt his way on and bunts foul for strike 1.
Well, John, you were gone with the team already on the bus up to Beloit the other day when Jessica Ferguson came around the office and distributed those Collins Community Credit Union miniature stadium replicas. Each member of the front office staff got theirs, and I really got my first up-close look at one for the first time, and they are absolutely amazing. And now we'll expound on that a little bit more.
Ball 1 in the dirt to Patrick. I know one thing, the detail in them is, as you said, phenomenal.
Well, you know, the tents that we have set up down the third base line, they're on there. The Veterans Memorial out front of the stadium is on there, complete with the tanks. The fighter plane out beyond the right center field wall is included in the replica. I mean, these are neat.
Ground ball up the middle, backhanded at second by Tolleson, throws late, and it's past the first baseman. Catcher backing up, throws to second. Patrick Riley in safely. It'll likely be an infield single and a throwing error by Steve Tolleson. Is that how you would rule it, Todd, or would you rule it 2 errors on the same play?
Getting an error.
All right.
But I waited. I cheated.
Patrick Riley has an infield single. And then Tolleson's throw off balance across his body in the dirt eluded Henry Sanchez. It's an error on the second baseman, and that is the second error committed by the Snappers. And a base hit here by Travis Schlichting. The runner going! Pitch low! Throw to third! Safe! The umpire originally ruled out, but Giancarlo Ortiz had the ball knocked out of his glove. Boy, Patrick Riley barreled into third, Todd, and I think he dislodged the throw.
I think so, too. I'm just getting more of a chuckle out of the fact that a guy can be out and safe at the same time on the same play. But he's safe on third, and, you know, they're hustling. This team is hustling, and that's something that maybe sometimes we felt like we didn't see out of last year's club. They're not giving the ghost up yet.
Here's a drive down the right field line, and it's going to fall foul. Another tough break for the Kernels. That would have scored a run, even if it had been caught, but Travis Schlichting even on the count now 1-1. We will turn this situation around with some, as Todd said, the only way you get breaks is to keep working hard, and the Kernels are forcing the issue. Case in point, ordinarily, you don't try to steal third down 2-0 on the road in the 7th inning. But Patrick Riley took the gamble, took the initiative, and he swiped third. Here's a drive into right. That'll score a run. Eli Tintor, glasses down, has it. Tagging from third and coming home to roost is Patrick Riley, and it's a 2-1 Beloit lead. RBI for Travis Schlichting. Run scored by Patrick Riley, and just like that, Todd, the Kernels have cut Beloit's lead to 2-1.
The first Colonel RBI of the year
by Travis Schlichting, because last night's run was an unearned run scored by the Kernels. All right, we're on the board, and there's still only 1 or 2 outs now here in this 7th inning for Madison Edwards.
And there's still plenty of ball game left.
You got it. Strike called from the lefty to the left-handed batter, Madison Edwards.
We'll get back to these stadium replicas here. They're the perfect size. They'd make a great paperweight. That's what if anyone who's seen my desk in our office knows that I need paperweights. I've got papers everywhere, and really, really something neat.
That space isn't still for rent, is it?
It is.
No. Todd has a running joke. He has a little easel board there saying this space for rent. He does a great job keeping everybody up on the baseball side of things. Ball 2, low and away to Madison Edwards. We're in the top of the 7th. It's the Kernels down by a run, 2-1. Now, Todd, I have another observation to pass on and get your take on as Edwards takes strike 3. We'll get to that in the bottom of the 7th inning. Strikeout of Madison Edwards by the lefty. Kernels on the board with a run. 1 hit, 1 Beloit error, a stolen base, nobody left. 7th inning stretch at Pullman Field. Another half inning with Colonel Director of Media Relations, Todd Brummelkamp. It's Beloit 2, the Kernels 1, and you're tuned to Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin. You know, Hometown Restyling has served Eastern Iowans since 1986, providing the very finest in windows, siding, and sunrooms. Their experienced staff can handle the job from start to finish, including plans, permits, and inspections. Plus, Hometown Restyling is nationally recognized by Professional Remodeler, Qualified Remodeler, and Remodeling magazines. Call Hometown Restyling for your next remodeling project, or better yet, visit one of our beautiful showrooms in Hiawatha or Coralville. Hometown Restyling, because there's no place like home.
Solid Waste and Recycling Services' most valuable player is that big, sturdy cart you use to put your yard and organic debris into. Yardie. Yardie's a real workhorse when it comes to gobbling up your lawn and garden debris. You can expand its capacity by mulching your leaves and other yard debris with your lawnmower, leaf vacuum, or leaf blower. Yardie's okay swallowing up brush and branches, but he'd prefer that you bundle and tie them together and place them beside him. Remember, your Yardie can do more for you if you give him those 2 special treatments, mulching and bundling.
Your home is a place for savoring all the good things in life. It's a place for celebrations. It's a place where memories are created. To make sure your home is properly insured, visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion, your professional Pekin insurance agency. Sheets Forest Draper will give you all important details about homeowners insurance with complete coverages and surprisingly affordable rates. Visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion for homeowners insurance for your well-lived and well-loved home.
A tradition here in the state of Wisconsin during the 7th inning stretch at Miller Park and up in Appleton and here in Beloit. Todd rolled out the barrel.
I think that's what Rhodey's doing right now. Is he going out to coach third?
Well, Ron Pline, the Colonel equipment manager, is headed towards the Colonel clubhouse. My guess is that he's going to get some piping hot coffee for the Colonel coaching staff.
He'll roll out the laundry. That's how I think Rhodey rolls out. He can't wait for this game to get over so that he can do the laundry.
Dan Hawkins' first pitch is skied into left. Down the line, Patrick Riley shading his eyes in foul ground. He makes a terrific play beyond the bullpen mound in left. And I say that, Todd, because it's a very tough sun field in left right now. Steve Tolleson is fouled out down the line in left, 1 away here in the 7th. Todd, my observation is the shadows created by the sun hitting the grandstand roof are now creeping right into the batter's circle. They're at the feet of the hitter, Paul Kelly. Will that be a factor when the Colonels bat in the 8th and 9th innings, or not?
I think it will be a little bit. You don't often see games played at 4 o'clock in the afternoon just because it does cause some problems with the shading. And the thing is, it's going to be a problem for the snappers as well, but unfortunately for the Colonels right now, they're the ones with the 2-1 lead. So if it's a problem for both teams, I'd favor the one that holds the advantage.
Dan Hawkins on a 1-1 pitch brings in a curve, a beauty to Paul Kelly. Paul's 1 for 3 today, a single, a grounder to second, and a fly out to left. As Todd said, Beloit leads it by a single tally, 2-1. Hawkins with a fastball above the letters. It's 2-2 to Paul Kelly.
The big right-hander for the Colonels is Chris Howell warming up in the bullpen. And I learned something interesting about Chris. I'll share it with you in a second.
Here's a 3-hopper past the mound to second. Larry Infante's been a busy man this afternoon. His peg to first retires the batter Kelly. 2 gone in the Beloit 7th inning.
Chris Howell, who's warming up in the bullpen for the Kernels right now, attended high school, a different high school, but in the same town as former Kernel starter and last night's winning pitcher for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, Nick Green. Both went to high school in Tifton, Georgia.
A ground ball past third, foul. Travis Schlichting was going to try to backhand it. It got under his glove, but foul ball, strike one. And Nick Green is a kid that we're all rooting for, Todd. You talk about, quote, going about his business the right way. He was fairly inconsistent as a middle relief man last season. Even we tried him once or twice as a closer. It was that kind of situation, unsettled in the Kernel bullpen. But when he got the ball as a starter the last month and a half, he was dynamite.
Absolutely. Dynamite enough to show up at the Angels' top 30 prospect list that Baseball America puts out every year. And dynamite enough, apparently, to be the number one starter in that Rancho Cucamonga rotation that features Rafael Rodriguez. He's going for the Quakes tonight.
2-1, the count, and here's a drive into deep left by Henry Sanchez. He's done it again, off the wall for another extra base hit. Now Riley's throw into second, not in time, and big Henry Sanchez, who we've said is a man among boys in this league, has roped a double, smashing it over the head of Patrick Riley, a two-out double, and the Kernels down 2-1 will have to get Edward Ovale to stay one run behind the Snappers. That is the umpteenth, well, let's say it's the third extra base hit for the Snappers today, and it's their 13th extra base hit in the series.
They sell Fort Myers Miracle hats down in their gift shop here in Beloit, and I'd go buy one and give it to Henry Sanchez because he'll be wearing one pretty soon.
A worm burned to third, and Schlichting has it. Travis across the diamond to retire Edward Ovale, and Hawkins is able to pitch around the two-out double. Dan Hawkins gets Edward Ovale. No runs for Beloit in the seventh, one hit. There were no snapper errors, or Kernel errors. Beloit leaves a man. They've left 9. Well, Todd, we'll bring you back in tomorrow afternoon during the 6th and 7th, and enjoy the rest of this ball game, and let's hope the Kernels can score a run or two and eke out a win here.
Well, like I said, I'm Mr. Pessimist usually, but I'm fairly optimistic they will do just that, and we'll take a win today.
Sounds good. We go to the 8th. Beloit leads at 2-1. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Smelly cat, smelly cat.
What are you playing, Nigel? I was just trading places with Phoebe from Friends. She's so funny. She's wicked.
Cool. You know, Sierra Mist and TBS had their Trade Places with the Funniest Faces sweepstakes, where you could really trade places with your favorite characters and win the ultimate sitcom getaway. Yeah, just go to TBS.com to enter. You could win the Friends Ross and Rachel honeymoon trip to Vegas. There's also a trip to see where the Seinfeld gang hung out in New York City, or an Everybody Loves Raymond trip to a golf resort in California.
The Trade Places with the Funniest Faces sweepstakes. Just watch Friends on TBS and enter at TBS.com. Brought to you by Sierra Mist. It's that refreshing. No purchase necessary. Internet access required. Subject to official rules at TBS.com. Open to legal residents of the continental U.S.
This has been a special sports presentation from The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids. Now back to our regularly scheduled ESPN programming, already in progress.
102 at the Meadowlands. 37 points for LeBron James, 18 of them in the fourth quarter as the Cavaliers ended the game on a
Bonus, we make a good team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communications.
A right-hander, Danny Vase, V-A-I-S, hurls for Beloit in the 8th. The Snappers lead at 2-1, and Vase misses to Brett Martinez outside, ball 1. 2-1 Snappers. Now a breaking pitch in for a strike. Alex Smith went 1 inning, allowed 1 run on 1 hit. He struck out 1 and he walked none. Vase is a husky right-hander, and Martinez has a good cut and fouls it straight back. The 1-2 to Brett. Looped into shallow right. Coming on and trapping it. Let's make sure. Good call. It was a trap by the right fielder. A base hit for Brett Martinez. That was some good call by the plate umpire. Some good call. I'm going to check with Dave Schultz from Rockford. Dave, I honestly from here thought the right fielder Tintor trapped it. What did you think? Yeah, Dave thought so too. We have an argument because the independent umpire on the base paths had his back turned to right field. The plate umpire had to make the call from about 230 feet away, and there's no way that the base umpire can reverse this call because his back was to the ball. Now, it could be that Eli Tintor caught it, but I thought he trapped it, and that's the call that the plate umpire made, and the Kernels have that all-important tying run on with nobody out. Brett Martinez, a sinking liner into right. Eli Tintor, with his glasses down, dove for it, and I think trapped it. I think he trapped it, and that's what the plate umpire said. Again, we are not in a position to mention the umpires' names. There's a labor dispute between the umpires and minor league baseball that we hope will be settled soon. And until that, because we don't have anything to do with it, so we're going to do what is right and just focus on the action, the fun, the game, and the umpires certainly are a part of that, but it's something that will work itself out. We've taken a wait-and-see attitude on it, and that's what we'll continue to do. The runner goes, and a pitch spanked into straightaway center for Edward Alval. He has it. Martinez scampers back to first. Brett Kuhn on a hit and run. Hit it solidly, but launched it into center for the first out of the inning. And we will get that break I am pleading for sometime here in this series. We just haven't gotten it yet. Kuhn did everything right. He put the ball in play solidly, but skied to center for the first out of the inning. Larry Infante will bat. Don't put it beyond Bobby Magallanes and the Kernels to try another hit and run. Pitch in the dirt, blocked by Caleb Moore to prevent Brett Martinez from going to second. That was some stop. 46 degrees here in Beloit, sun shining brightly, and the shadows created by the grandstand roof are gradually making their way towards the home plate area. Larry Infante waits, a throw to first, and that throw almost blinded the first baseman. Henry Sanchez back safely. Brett Martinez, our baseball fun fact here in the top of the eighth inning. We'll go back to 1951 at Wrigley Field, April 17th. What happened at Wrigley Field? A drag bunt, and the first baseman's only play is to step on the bag, and the Kernels, with two out, have Brett Martinez at second base. Larry Infante was trying to bunt for a hit. He dragged it straight up the first base line, where Henry Sanchez fielded it and took the play unassisted. It will be a sacrifice for Larry Infante. Well, here's what happened. Our baseball fun fact, opening day at Wrigley, April 17th, 1951. Golfer Sam Snead. We picked this one because it's Masters weekend in Augusta, Georgia. Sam Snead, donning street clothes, used a 2-iron without a tee, and he drove a golf ball 450 feet over the center field scoreboard. That's our baseball fun fact. Out to the hill is Jeff Smith, the skipper of the... No, that's Steve Mintz, the pitching coach. Steve Mintz, the pitching coach, is out. The Snappers have a right-hander up in their bullpen, Eddie Morlan. Morlan struck out the Kernel side here Thursday night in the 4-0 Beloit win, and he is obviously the Beloit closer. Henley Station with a base hit could tie this game. A pitch in the dirt, a wild pitch. On to third goes Brett Martinez. That's a wild pitch. It hit off the lower part of the shin guards of Caleb Moore. We don't have any more finals to pass on at this point on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, but we'll review what we have as time permits, and certainly we'll make it a part of the Colonel Curtin call. Hanley Stacia ahead 1-0. A fastball darts down and in from Danny Vaz. Vaz is from Seward County Community College in Kansas, and he's from the Denver area. A 21-year-old right-hander. Ball 3 is downstairs to Henley Stacia from Danny Vaz. Vaz was 6-1 with Elizabethton last season in 4 starts and 9 relief appearances. He's working from the stretch and delivers. Ground ball off the pitcher's glove. Henley Stacia may leg it out. He does! And the Kernels have tied the game here in the 8th inning. Brett Martinez scores on the Henley Stacia ground ball off the pitcher's glove. Then it died between the mound and second, barehanded by Steve Tolleson. He could not make a play, and the Kernels have tied it 2-2 here in the 8th inning. It'll be interesting to see whether they rule that a hit or an error. I'd rule it an error on the pitcher, but I believe they've ruled it a base hit. And this is nothing against scorekeepers across baseball. They're all instructed, a throw to first, and they call Stacia out. That's a makeup call. Stacia was safe, and they called him out. Henley Stacia ruled out. Now, Henley has driven in the tying run with an infield single off the glove of the pitcher. He's credited with an RBI, and then he was safe getting back to first, but a makeup call by the independent umpire, and it's a 1-3 put-out, picked off first base. Kernels tie it with a run in the 8th. 1 run on 2 hits, no Beloit errors, a wild pitch, and nobody stranded. So, we're all even as we go to the home half of the 8th. It is the Kernels 2 and the Snappers 2. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Kernel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
Meet Jim. When it's nice out, he spends weekends in his yard trying to kill weeds.
Gotcha.
Meet Dave. He spends weekends on the green. That's because Greg's Lawn Service takes care of his lawn. Mowing, fertilizing, pruning, and, weed control. Greg's does the big jobs, too. Landscaping, retaining walls, curb edging, and patios. So when you've had enough of those little devils...
Aha! Yes!
Call 393-0101. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sedlock, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. We all know how quickly life can change. You buy a new car or a new home. Your family is blessed with a new baby. Your teenager starts driving the family car. I'm here to help with a complete line of insurance plans to give you protection when you need it the most. Pekin Insurance has been in business of insuring people for 85 years. I'm here to put your interests first. Please visit me, Tanya Sedlock, at the Andrews Agency.
Chris Howell out of the University of Tennessee is working for the Kernels. He's answered the U.S. Cellular call to the Kernel bullpen. Get your wireless relief with Call Me Minutes only from U.S. Cellular. Chris Howell to face Eli Tintor. The Kernels have been out hit 9-6. Each team has made a pair of errors, and we're tied 2-2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Tintor shoots one foul off to the right. Eli's a right-handed batter facing Chris Howell. Howell, 22 years old. Misses inside. Dan Hawkins was solid in 2 innings of relief, allowed a run on 3 hits, struck out none, and walked 1. Chris into his windup. Swing and a miss on a fastball by Eli Tintor. Well, getting back to our baseball fun fact, Sam Snead with a 2-iron in street clothes with no tee, hitting one over the center field scoreboard at Wrigley. Here's a high foul pop. Look out! Oh, brother, we've got down in a heap Mark Trumbo Why in the world was a gate not secured down the right field line? That's inexcusable unless the latch was broken. Trumbo got a glove on a high pop foul and was unable to hold on, and then he went crashing through a restraining gate. And again, that needs to be checked out. These are the little things that can really wreak havoc. You're expecting some kind of barrier to hold, and that barrier did not hold. And hopefully the Beloit staff can get that thing looked at by a fence specialist, because you don't want a guy going full bore through a fence that should be secured. But it could be that that no fence could have held big Mark Trumbo. And I'll be darned, wouldn't you know it, after barely missing a foul pop, a base hit by Eli Tintor, his third hit in a row. Isn't that baseball? You barely miss a foul pop. The next pitch is lazily lofted over the shortstop's head into center for a leadoff single. Well, I'll be darned. Here's Caleb Moore. He's reached 3 times this afternoon, a single, a walk, and a double. Chris Howell, in 9 games with the Mesa Angels a year ago, was 0-1, an ERA of just over 6. A bunt, and it's foul off to the right of home plate, strike 1 on Caleb Moore. Mark Trumbo barely missing a foul pop and then crashing through a gate down the first baseline. Then the next pitch was lofted into center for a base hit. Kind of reminds me of Derek Lee in Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Red catcher dropped a foul pop, and the next pitch was hit for a 2-run homer by Derek Lee. A curve and a strike to Caleb Moore. It's 0-2. Our score here in the bottom of the 8th inning is Kernels 2, Snappers 2. Great to have you along with us on the Kernel Radio Network. We're in the zone, and we'll be back in the zone tomorrow for the series finale. 2 o'clock first pitch, South Slope Communications triple play showtime, 1:40 tomorrow afternoon. A check swing, look out, that one almost picked off a bat boy standing next to the Kernel dugout. He ducked just in time, and the Kernel equipment manager will get some heat about that one. It's his job to protect that youngster, and thankfully he did. Curve, laced fair, past third. This will send the go-ahead run to third base. On a double, nobody covering second. The ball gets loose. Now a runner trying to get back to second, and a runner at third holds. 2 men on third, and the Kernels get a break. The batter's out. The batter's out, but the go-ahead runs at third with 1 out, and it was a very, very heads-up play by the right fielder, Madison Edwards. Oh, brother, Beloit has the go-ahead run at third and a base-running gaff by the batter Caleb Moore, who has his 3rd hit of the afternoon. They'll credit him with a double, his 2nd double in a row, as he grounded one fair past third down the left field line. Patrick Riley threw to the right base, second. Nobody was at second. The right fielder, Madison Edwards, was backing up the play. He picked up the throw, and then he got an unassisted put-out of Caleb Moore, the batter at third. The infield's in for the play at the plate. So both good and bad on that play. Good that Madison Edwards was in the right position. Bad that the batter doubled. Now here's a drive foul way down the right field line. Out of the ballpark, strike 1 on Dwayne White. Ooh, brother, the Kernels have the infield in for the play at the plate. Eli Tintor singled after Mark Trumbo just couldn't get to a foul pop. It hit his glove, bounced out, and then he went crashing through a fence. Here's a high fly ball into shallow center. We're going to have a play at the plate, I think. Kuhn has it, and the runner holds at third. The runner holds at third. Eli Tintor on a shallow fly to center. Brad Kuhn caught it and then did a very smart thing. He ran the ball back to the infield. He ran the ball back towards the infield and froze Eli Tintor. And the Kernel infield will now go back to regular depth here in the bottom of the 8th inning with the score tied at 2. some walk-up music play. Oh, wait, we may have a pinch hitter.
Number 4, Drew Thompson.
Drew Thompson is pinch hitting for Giancarlos Ortiz. Drew Thompson is the pinch hitter. He was held hitless last night after clubbing 2 triples in the series opener. Drew Thompson will take over probably at third base for Beloit. The first pitch to the pinch hitter is a strike called from right-hander Chris Howell. Go ahead run at third for Beloit here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Thompson, the pinch hitter, batting left, fouls it away to the left. Strike 2. Drew Thompson is pinch hitting for Giancarlos Ortiz in a 2-2 game here in the bottom of the 8th inning in Beloit. Chris Howell, will he waste a pitch or come right after the hitter? He came right after him, and a high fly ball into right. On the run, near the line, Madison Edwards squeezes it, and the Kernels escape a very difficult jam without a run scoring. Thompson lifted one into right on an 0-2 pitch. Madison Edwards, with his glasses down, made the play to end the inning. The Snappers should have had runners at second and third with nobody out. They had a runner at third with 1 out, and Chris Howell got out of the jam. No runs for Beloit. Despite 2 hits, they've had a hit in every inning but the 5th. There were no Kernel errors, and the Snappers strand a runner. They've left 10 aboard in 8 innings. Kernels have momentum as we go to the top of the 9th. It's the Kernels 2 and Beloit 2. And you're enjoying Kernel baseball from Beloit on the Kernel Radio Network.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one.
Do you, Susan Smith, take Giuseppe Florentino?
You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared in Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, a pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for real Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? Hey, my hair is my trademark. I gotta be able to count on a good cut and stuff to keep my hair looking thick, even if it's not.
I get a good cut, no long wait, a smile, and a little something left over in my wallet.
I get little trims that keep my hair long and healthy, and stuff to make it loose and curly one day, straight and sassy the next.
With expert stylists trained in the latest trends and techniques and your favorite professional styling and hair care products, you'll always get what you're looking for at Cost Cutters. At Cost Cutters, you can always count on convenient, affordable, professional care and products that help you create just the style you want. At Cost Cutters, you'll always get a little more.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? A slick, clean cut, great highlights, and a little wink from the hottest stylist I've ever seen.
More of what you're looking for, just yourself.
Top of the 9th inning. Kernels took a tough situation and got out of it in grand fashion in the bottom of the 8th. And the first batter up for the Kernels is Mark Trumbo. He's the guy that crashed through a gate down the right field line trying to flag down a foul pop to start the bottom of the 8th. Mark takes another big curveball in for strike 2 from right-hander Danny Vaiz, V-A-I-S. Mark this afternoon has flown to center, been hit by a pitch, and grounded to third. He's a right-handed hitting cleanup batter for the Kernels, Mark Trumbo. Fastball outside. It's 2-2 to the big guy. Great to have you with us here on the Kernel Radio Network. Trumbo with his first Kernel hit of the year. He grounded it sharply through the box for a leadoff single here in the 9th inning. Mark Trumbo has hit number 7 for the Kernels today. Top of the 9th inning, go ahead run at first, and the batter Warner Madrigal. Defensively for Beloit, Steve Tolleson goes from second, and he's at third base now, and the pinch hitter Drew Thompson, who pinch hit for the number 9 man, Giancarlos Ortiz. Drew Thompson is at second base. Flint Whipkey is apparently come on to pinch run for Mark Trumbo here in the 9th inning. No, it is not Flint Whipkey. It is Dallas Morris. And thankfully, Todd Brummelkamp was right on it with the binoculars. Dallas Morris, our South Slope Communications Triple Play Show guest, is pinch running at first for Mark Trumbo. Well, Bobby Magallanes doesn't pinch hit often, but he's pinch run twice in this series. Madrigal squares the bunt and takes a fastball high, ball one. Well, Warner isn't called to bunt upon very often, and I'm not sure if Bobby Magallanes was doing that. Well, it looks like Warner is in a bunt. He's got his hands up high. He didn't tip his hand to throw to first, and the pinch runner Morris gets back safely. 2-2 the score, top of the 9th inning. There are two ways of thinking about this situation. Warner bunts. The pitcher picks it up, throws to second, out. I'll be darned. I'll be doggone. The bunt was too hard, and the pitcher picked it up with his glove hand and threw to the shortstop for a force out. It went 1-6.
Now batting left fielder, number 10, Patrick Riley.
And the two lines of thought are that you never ask a guy to do something that he's not capable of, and Warner Madrigal is not a good bunter. The other the line of thought is a professional baseball player, no matter if he's good at bunting, has to make himself good, and you should expect him to lay one down. Warner could not do it. Here's Patrick Riley. Ball one low. So the pinch runner, Morris, is erased on a 1-6 putout. Warner Madrigal, credit him with getting the bat on the ball, but he bunted it right back to the base of the mound. No panic on the part of Danny Vase. He whirled and threw a strike to second. A swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt, and it matters not about Warner's poor sacrifice attempt because he's in scoring position now on a wild pitch. So, things even out in this game sometimes. Warner Madrigal, who was at first base after an unsuccessful sacrifice attempt, now is at second, where he wanted to put the pinch runner, Dallas Morris, in the first place. So a runner at second with one away and a base hit from Patrick Riley would give the Kernels their first lead of this series. A grounder to second on 3 hops. Down to get it is the new second baseman Thompson, on to first for the second out of the inning. Patrick Riley was looking for his third hit of the day. He grounds to second. On to third goes Warner Madrigal. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. If that's the case, yes, we are. We're going to have a pitching change in this 2-2 game in the top of the 9th inning. Let's take that opportunity to bring you up to speed on all the scores from this afternoon on the State Farm Major League Scoreboard. Brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Dale Thompson, Gary Schubat, Al Shetler, and Brad Dunn. This afternoon, 2 rainouts in the National League. The Marlins and Mets were postponed at Shea, and the Philly-Dodger game was scrubbed at Citizens Bank Ballpark. A wild one at Great America Ballpark. Cincinnati outslugged the Pirates 11-9. The Brewers go to 5-0 as they shade the Diamondbacks at Miller Park 5-4 this afternoon. The Cubs made it 2 straight over the Cardinals at Wrigley, 3-2 Chicago, and the Giants mauled the Braves 12-6 at SBC Park in San Francisco. Later tonight, the Nationals in Houston at Minute Maid, and the Padres entertain the Rockies in San Diego. A final from earlier today at Rogers Center indoors, the former Sky Dome, the Blue Jays whipped Tampa Bay 8-4. The Royals crowned the White Sox 4-3 at Kauffman Stadium today. Former Midwest Leaguer Burlington V. Ambiorix Burgos got the save for the Royals. They're in the top of the 7th at Jacobs Field. The Indians 3, the Twins nothing, and no score in the bottom of the 3rd at Camden Yards, the Red Sox and Orioles. Later tonight in the American League, the Tigers and Rangers at the ballpark in Arlington. In the Emerald City, Seattle will take on the A's, and our parent club, the Angels, will clash with the Yankees at Angels Stadium tonight. That complete look at the State Farm Major League Scoreboard here in the ninth inning, brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Brad Dunn, Al Shetler, Gary Shubat, and Dale Thompson. Yohan Pino, Pino, is the new pitcher for the Snappers. He'll face Travis Schlichting with the go-ahead run at third here in the ninth inning. Danny Vase went an inning and 2/3. So far, he's allowed no runs on 3 hits. Vase, the right-hander, struck out none, and he walked none. Yohan Pino, Pino, to Travis Schlichting. First pitch. Curve at the knees, a strike called. Man, that thing was a old-fashioned roundhouse 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock curveball. This fella Pino pitched in last night's Beloit 2-1 win. Travis, a right-handed batter with an open stance. Shoots it foul off to the right. He's in the hole 0-2. Tying run at third for the Kernels. This crowd has gotten eerily quiet. Go-ahead run at third for the Kernels, Madrigal. Ball one way, way high. Last night, Yohan Pino pitched a scoreless ninth inning, although he did give up 2 hits. So let's see if we can get him here in the ninth and take the lead in this one. Schlichting grounds it back to the mound. Pitcher knocks it down, picks it up, and throws out Travis. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Still tied at 2. In the ninth for the Kernels, no runs. 1 hit. No Beloit errors. The Kernels leave a runner and have stranded 6. So if we're to gain our first win of the season, it will be in extra innings. We have to hold them in the ninth. After 8.5, it's still Kernels and Beloit tied at 2 here on the Kernel Radio Network.
Reading stimulates a child's imagination, increases their mastery of subject matter, improves their spelling and vocabulary, and opens up new worlds of discovery. That's why Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels are teaming up to encourage elementary students throughout the community to read. Kernels players will visit 38 elementary schools this spring to talk with students about the benefits of reading. Girls and boys will then be rewarded with nifty prizes for achieving reading milestones. Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels, proud to stand behind our community's youth through reading.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe from me to you. A tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool, but pepper is a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this. Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mash up of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Woo! Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Top of the order for Beloit in their half of the ninth. 2-2 the score. Chris Howell fouls one back to the screen. Chris Howell's pitch is fouled back to the screen by Terrence Patterson. Kernels go with Travis Schlichting at first here in the ninth inning. Dallas Morris, who came in as a pinch runner, is at the hot corner, and Mark Trumbo has exited the game. He was pinch run for in that ninth inning. Oh, for that big hit sometime in this series. We'll get it. Curve, strike 2 called to Terrence Patterson. Travis Schlichting did hit it hard on one hop right back to the mound to end the Kernel ninth inning with that go-ahead run at third. Tiny Terrence Patterson, 1 for 4 today. Corks it into left for a base hit. It came on a 1-2 count, and it's the 12th hit of the day for the Snappers. Terrence Patterson was fooled on the pitch. He got the barrel of the bat solidly on the ball, and he shot it through the hole into left field.
Now batting
third baseman, number 8.
Will Steve Tolleson be bunting? Top of the ninth inning. Winning run at first for Beloit, and Chris Howell steps off the rubber. It looked like Steve Tolleson was going to bunt, but we'll see. Kernels have been out hit 12-7. Each team has made a pair of errors, and we're in the ninth inning, bottom of the ninth. 2-2 the score. Another tight ball game. A curve, and that one looked good from here, but was called ball one by the plate umpire. Patterson was in the hole 1 and 2 and just reached out and served it into left field. Curve, ball 2 inside. Sun still shining brightly. And the shadows that we talked about are no longer a factor. Home plate is no longer encompassed or enveloped in that shadow cast by the grandstand. Double play ball to third. Morris to second. Out. On to first. Double play! Hey! Dallas Morris picked it and then threw to Larry Infante. And then Larry relayed to first for a 5-4-3 double play. Man, oh man, you're the new guy in the field and that ball finds you. It always finds you. And Dallas Morris, our guest on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, made a whale of a stab on a grounder to shallow third. The ball popped out of his mitt for just an iota, just a bit, but he recovered and winged his throw to Infante. Larry had plenty of steam on his relay, and the Kernels turn a 5-4-3 double play. Huge double play. Now Paul Kelly looks at a strike. Next one is low. It's 1-1. A high pop-up. The sun is blinding Larry Infante. In foul ground, he has it to send us to extra innings. Paul Kelly fouls out down the first baseline. Larry Infante had the better angle. He called off Travis Schlichting, made the play in the glaring sun to send us to extra innings. No runs for Beloit in the ninth. One hit for the Snappers. A Kernel double play. No Kernel errors. Beloit leaves the bases empty. Our first overtime of the season. We're headed to extra innings. And here in Beloit, it's the Kernels 2 and the Snappers 2. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Sylvia, you know that cruise you've always wanted?
Yeah?
Well, there it is.
That would be our house, Bob. Are you feeling all right, dear?
Well, this is so cool. Guarantee Bank will let us use the equity in our home to do just about anything we want. College tuition, a room addition, a cruise, and best of all, the interest may be tax deductible. Now do you see it? Ah, the sun, the waves, the tropical breezes.
Ooh, now I see it. It's a convertible. The sun on my face, the wind in my hair.
See your guarantee banker in Cedar Rapids, Marion, or Hiawatha, and use the equity in your home to do whatever you want, even if it's just to get out of the house.
The feel of the road, the roar of the engine.
The roar of the...
Hey, it's my kind of life. Keep your hands off my Porsche, Bobby boy.
Guarantee Bank.
Your kind of life.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Consult your tax advisor for interest deductibility. Some restrictions apply.
If you're looking to enhance your property's appearance, function, or value, make the experts at King's Material your most reliable teammate. Retaining walls? You bet. Custom patios? Bingo. Walkways and steps? King's Material says yes. King's Material has all the brick, concrete, and stone elements to make your landscaping, masonry, and architectural projects become a reality. To view the astonishing array of beautiful and innovative products King's Material can bring to your home, yard, or business, visit King's online at kingsmaterial.com.
This ball game goes to the 10th inning, and it'll be Madison Edwards, left-handed batter, to lead off for the Kernels. First pitch from Yohan Pinto is taken downstairs for a ball. Outfield plays Madison to hit the other way. A slider from Yohan Pino is a strike called. Beloit scored in the fourth inning off Colonel starter Kelly Shear to take a 1-0 lead. They made it 2-0 with a run off Dan Hawkins in the sixth. The Kernels countered with single tallies in the seventh and eighth, and were in the top of the 10th. 2-2. Madison lofts one foul down the right field line. Madison Edwards. Now a fastball high and outside to the Colonel right fielder. Madison Edwards is from Texas Tech. He slices it in the air into shallow left. This will be easy for the shortstop, who glides back and snatches it for the first out of the 10th inning. Paul Kelly made the play. One gone here in the 10th inning. Brett Martinez at the plate.
Now batting the catcher, number 35, Brett Martinez.
Martinez singled and scored his last time up. That was in the 8th inning. He tried to bunt his way on and bunts it into the screen for strike one. Beloit Snappers and Cedar Rapids Kernels from Pullman Field in southern Wisconsin. Strike two call to the Colonel catcher. We mentioned this is the 25th year of Midwest League professional baseball here, and the first 23, the Snappers were an affiliate of the Brewers. Swing and a miss by the Colonel catcher on a big bender, and there are two gone quickly here in the Colonel 10th inning. You'll recognize a lot of these names of former Brewer greats. The knuckleballer Tom Candiotti pitched here in 1984.
Center fielder, number 15, Brad Coon.
Our own Cal Eldred from Center Point, Urbana started his career here, or early in his career at least, pitched here in 1989. Pat Listash was here in 88. Joey Meyer, I thought he was going to be a prolific big league slugger. He had a solid career. Hit long, prodigious home runs. He was here in 1984 as well. The Australian Dave Nilsson played here in 1988. Brad Coon slices one into left. One hop single in front of Dwayne White. Big turn by Brad Coon. His first hit in 5 trips. And Brad may be doing some running here in the 10th inning. Brad Coon is singled into left. He's the go-ahead run at first.
Now batting second baseman, number 5, Larry Infante.
B.J. Surhoff. He just retired recently. Hard-nosed player. He played here in 85 in Beloit. 1985, that is. The runner is chased back. Hand first goes Brad Coon. He may be trying to steal second here in the 10th inning. 2-2 the score. One of my favorite baseball names, Billy Joe Robideau. Played here in 1983. Coon breaks towards second, stops. That was a good pitch to go on. A curve for a strike to Larry Infante. Larry's walked, grounded to short, flown to left, and laid down a sacrifice bunt. Coon being held by Big Henry Sanchez. Is Brad running? There he goes. A pitch out. Throw to second. Safe! A bang-bang play. A head-first slide by Brad Coon, and he's in scoring position for Larry Infante. Oh, that was a close play. Brad, with a head-first slide, is covered in dirt. The Snappers pitched out, but didn't get their man. Coon with a big lead at second. Pino brings it. And a number foul behind the plate, strike two to Larry Infante. More recently, of course, Ricky Weeks and Prince Fielder played here. They've helped the parent club, the former parent club of the Snappers, the Brewers, to a 5-0 start. Our media relations director, Todd Brummelkamp, picked the Brewers to be his surprise team in the National League, and so far he's right. Larry tomahawks one foul. That pitch was up out over the plate, and Larry Infante fouled it straight back. I did not realize that Dave Stapleton played here in 1984. Stapleton went on to have a pretty fair career with the Boston Red Sox. Dave Schultz, do you remember Dave Stapleton being here? Sure. Here's a high fly ball hooking foul into the Colonel right field bullpen. Larry Infante pulled it foul. Larry trying to chase home the go-ahead run in this one. 10th inning, 2-2 our score. Remember Dale's Fame? S-V-U-E-M, Dale's Fame. I'm not pronouncing it the way I used to be able to with that S-V. Fame played here in 89. Curve wrapped on the ground to first. Takes a big hop and into the glove of Henry Sanchez to end the inning. Kernels threatened but can't break through with that big hit and big run here in the 10th inning. For Beloit, or for the Kernels, no runs, one hit, a stolen base. No snapper errors, and the Kernels leave one aboard. We've stranded 7, and we go to the bottom half of the 10th inning. Still tied at 2, Kernels and Snappers. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
If your spring cleaning plans include throwing out household furniture items, be sure to follow the instructions on the orange bulky item collection flyer you received in the mail. Up to 4 items such as couches, mattresses, and box springs, dressers, wooden desks, and bookshelves would be picked up by city crews. However, appliances, TVs, computer components, and scrap metal will not be collected. Your orange flyer will tell you where to dispose of such prohibited items. Thanks for using your orange flyer as your spring cleanup resource.
Cedar Rapids' oldest wholesale greenhouse is all.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin. You know, Hometown Restyling has served Eastern Iowans since 1986, providing the very finest in windows, siding, and sunrooms. Their experienced staff can handle the job from start to finish, including plans, permits, and inspections. Plus, Hometown Restyling is nationally recognized by Professional Remodeler, Qualified Remodeler, and Remodeling magazines. Call Hometown Restyling for your next remodeling project, or better yet, visit one of our beautiful showrooms in Hiawatha or Coralville. Hometown Restyling, because there's no place like home.
Have a U.S. Cellular call to the Colonel bullpen, and newcomer Tim Madison is on. His wife earlier this afternoon, Cassandra Madison from Tampa, Florida, won our Bruce Moore Bonanza. And Tim Madison, who joined the ball club just a day ago, when Gustavo Espinosa had to go back to Mesa to have his left shoulder examined, Tim Madison is 23 years old. He pitched in 20 games last year for the Orem Owls, posted a save, and a win. He was 1-2 in 20 appearances. Tim Mattison, M-A-T-T-I-S-O-N. Chris Howell pitched 2 scoreless innings out of the Colonel bullpen. Howell allowed no runs on 3 hits. Tim Madison deals strike 1 into Henry Sanchez. Sanchez has belted a couple of home runs already in this series, including the walk-off game winner last night. Tim with a breaking pitch low and away for ball 1. Howell, 2 innings pitched, no runs. 3 hits, no strikeouts, no walks. Colonel pitching has walked only 2 batters today. Swing and a tipped foul by Henry Sanchez. Strike 2. Henry doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 4. Temperature at 45 degrees, light breeze blowing in. A curve from the Colonel right-hander is in the dirt for ball 2. Tim's out of the University of South Florida in Tampa. 6'1", 225. Henry Sanchez waits and smacks one into the screen foul. The count remains 2-2. This call to the Colonel bullpen, sponsored by U.S. Cellular. Get your wireless relief with Call Me Minutes only from U.S. Cellular. Henry Sanchez takes strike 3 called. Tim Madison with a blistering fastball. And that brings in Edward Ovali. Ovali's 1 for 4 today.
Number 9, Edward Oval.
Edwards a right-handed batter, and right down the heart of the plate is a Tim Madison fastball for strike 1. I imagine a little bit after 7 o'clock down in Tampa, Florida, that Tim's wife is still tuned in. Ground ball smacked just foul outside third. That's strike 2 to the batter. After all the hoopla and fun of the opening day, gates open at 11 on Monday. Game starts at noon. We're back in action the very next night against the Peoria Chiefs, and it's a triple play Tuesday. Swing and a miss. Tim Madison blows away Edward Oval, and there's 2 gone on strikes here in the Beloit 10th inning. Every Tuesday, including this Tuesday, is a triple play Tuesday. You'll get a delicious hamburger or cheeseburger, plus a beverage and a bag of chips for only $5. $5 will get you a hamburger or cheeseburger, a beverage, and a bag of chips every Tuesday this season. Nothing but aspirin tablets from Tim Madison. Strike 1 call to Eli Tintor, who's had 3 hits in his last 3 at-bats. Eli's a right-handed batter. Ooh, ball 1 just outside apparently. Boy, this Tim Madison has come on like gangbusters in the 10th inning. He's really throwing well. He's into his windup in the 1-1. Changeup just inside. And that's ball 2. Dave Schultz is standing by. He'll say hello to us in the 11th inning. Dave is a longtime journalist with the Rockford newspaper, very well informed about the State Line region. And only thing we hold against Dave is he's in that same camp as Jack Rader, our GM. He's a Yankee fan. Other than that, he's a wonderful guy. High pop foul straight back. Dave and I became friends in 96, 97, 98 when we'd come to Rockford. He was the official scorer. His daughter Heidi ran the scoreboard. His son Andrew was all around the ballpark as a 12-year-old. Swing and a miss. Tim Madison fans the side. Tim Madison strikes out the side here in the bottom of the 10th inning. Wow, what a lift Tim Madison gives the Kernels. And this ball game will now go to the top of the 11th inning. We're going into the top of the 11th, and we're still all tied up. Kernels 2, Beloit 2. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Jumpstart your future with learning from Kirkwood Community College. No matter what your age or previous work experience, you have new opportunities as close as your phone. 398-5517. Kirkwood has hundreds of choices for career and technical programs. Kirkwood has financial aid and support options to help you succeed, and Kirkwood has locally based centers to help you balance work, family, and learning. Kirkwood is ready when you're ready. Call Kirkwood Admissions today, 398-5517. Kirkwood. Start here, go anywhere.
Convenience and trust, 2 things all of us want. At Tri-State Travel, we offer both. It's convenient for you to make 1 call or 1 visit to our office for all your travel needs. A 1-day tour, a cruise, a trip to Branson, to charter a motor coach. For 66 years, Tri-State Travel has been a name you can trust to provide quality products. Come see why you can trust us to provide the convenience you expect. Tri-State Travel now at our new location on 7th Street Southwest.
When it comes to auto insurance, Westside Agency in Palo, your professional Pekin insurance agency, will make certain you're properly insured with the right coverages and deductibles. Westside Agency will tell you about the money-saving discounts from Pekin Insurance. Multi-car discount, good student discount, loss-free discount, 45-plus auto discount, auto home discount, low mileage discount. To see if you qualify for any of these auto discounts that will lower your premiums, visit Westside Agency in Palo.
As we go to the top of the 11th inning in Beloit on a sunny, cool, early Saturday evening now, a left-hander, Jose Lugo will pitch. Yohan Pino for the Snappers pitched 2 innings, or check that, he pitched, well, we'll have to double check on that. But Jose Lugo, a lefty who appeared in last night's game, a 2-1 Beloit win. He went an inning and a third, no runs, a hit, a strikeout, and no walks. He takes over here in the 11th inning, and he is the fourth relief pitcher used by the Snappers. Well, Dave Schultz, when you crossed the state line from Rockford earlier this afternoon, did you expect an extra inning game? Dave, I'm sorry. There we go.
All right. Can't say I expected an extra inning game, but nothing surprises me in baseball, so here we are.
And Dave and I had a chance to reacquaint 2 nights ago after opening night, and he is a wealth of knowledge and enthusiasm for baseball. I'm going to have him share a story about Ted Williams here. Henley Stacia will lead it off for the Kernels in this top of the 11th inning. And shortening up at third, expecting a possible bunt, is Tolleson. Strike one to Henley Stacia from lefty Jose Lugo. Well, you had an uncle, Dave, that passed on recently that he was a very good friend of a guy who wasn't the easiest guy to get to know, Ted Williams. A grounder stroked to short, and Henley Stacia's retired by Paul Kelly, one out here in the Kernel 11th inning. Dave, tell us about your chance as a younger fella to meet Ted Williams.
Well, this was in the early 70s when Ted was managing the Washington Senators, and I knew that my uncle had been acquainted with Ted Williams because my uncle was in the Navy for several years and was stationed in Boston, and he later went to work for the state of Massachusetts as an athletic director in the correctional system there. And he knew quite a few of the Boston athletes, and I knew that he had been acquainted with Ted Williams. And we were in Milwaukee to see a ball game, and my uncle said to me, he said, "Let's go down to the clubhouse after the game." And I said to him, I said, and I was sports editor at the paper in Rockford at the time, and I said, "Well, I'll go down and get a credential so we can get into the clubhouse." And he said, "That won't be necessary."
That won't be necessary.
And so,
wow.
After the game, we went to the clubhouse, and my uncle knocked on the door of the visiting clubhouse at County Stadium in Milwaukee, and the guard came to the door, and he said, "What can I do for you?" My uncle said, "I'd like to see Ted Williams." And he said, "Well, who shall I tell him's here?" And he gave his name, Al Goodwin, and the door closed, and the next couple seconds or a couple minutes later, the door opened again, and there was Ted Williams in the door. He says, "Al Goodwin, what are you doing here?" And we spent probably 2.5, 3 hours after the ball game just sitting in the manager's office in the visiting clubhouse at County Stadium talking baseball, and Al and my uncle, of course, had more than that to talk about. And
they had some old war stories.
Yes, and and eventually we wound up driving Ted Williams back to his hotel because the bus, of course, had long gone by the time we were done.
Great story as Dallas Morris bats for the first time, and he rips one into center for a base hit. Well, we were talking about the greatest hitter of all time, Ted Williams, and Dallas Morris, with his first hit of the game, he came on as a pinch runner for Mark Trumbo back in the 9th inning, and Dallas Morris has the Kernel 9th hit of this game. 12 hits for the Snappers, 9 for the Kernels, 1 on, 1 out, top of the 11th in a 2-2 ball game, and alongside is Dave Schultz. And Dave, the name of the paper in Rockford that you've been with all these years?
The Rockford Register-Star.
A throw to first, and the lefty Lugo chases back Dallas Morris, who's carrying the go-ahead run here in the top of the 11th. Well, what was your general impression of Ted Williams? Because the media and he did not get along.
Well, I met him in a little different circumstance. He was obviously with friends, and he was comfortable.
Sure.
He seemed that night, and I didn't meet him again. That night he seemed to be a very pleasant fellow.
A double play ball to second, and Thompson to Kelly one on to first. Warner Madrigal ends the Kernel 11th by bouncing in to a 4-6-3 double play. Well, Dave, we're going to keep it right here because We're going to the bottom of the 11th inning, and you were saying that during that 2.5, 3-hour conversation with your uncle and Ted Williams at County Stadium that Ted seemed relaxed, and did he tell some good baseball stories?
You know, we talked a lot about baseball, and we talked a lot about his current situation at that time.
Which was the early 70s.
Right. I believe it was 1971. You know, I don't remember any particular stories he told, and if I tried to relate one at this point, it might be something I read in a book about it. So.
Yeah, that book was pretty controversial. There's been a couple written about DiMaggio and Williams, and the one thing about Ted Williams that almost everybody would agree upon is that he was a fierce competitor who probably studied hitting more than any human being had ever studied hitting. There was a book when I was a little leaguer in the 60s that came out called The Science of Hitting 300. Remember that?
Right.
It had that graph on the front, and depending on where the pitch was in the strike zone on the color picture, Ted had what average he would hit.
Right. Ted, you know, is known for his hitting, and he's, he was one of the best hitters of his time, or any time for that matter. He was the last person to hit 400 in the big leagues. A truly scientific hitter who knew, you know, probably more about it than a lot of hitters know today.
Now, your uncle would know this as we go to the bottom of the 11th inning here, and Beloit tied it too, but didn't Ted Williams live in Boston for the most of his pro career in a hotel?
Yes, he did. He lived in a hotel.
The Lexington Hotel, or was that the one Capone lived in Chicago?
I don't remember the name of the hotel in Boston, but I do know he lived in, and that was a part of the book too. Was that he did live in a hotel most of the time in Boston.
Ball one from Tim Madison to Caleb Moore. Tim fanned the side in the bottom of the 10th inning. We're in the bottom of the 11th. 2-2 the score. Big Uncle Charlie is a beauty, a strike. To Caleb Moore, who has reached 4 times today, 3 hits, including 2 doubles and a walk. So let's see if Tim Madison can get him. Strike 2 called. Boy, this Tim Madison is throwing free and easy. Man, oh man, does he look good. Now the 1-2. Grounded into the left side, picked clean by Dallas Morris, and on to first for the first out of the inning. 4 in a row retired by Tim Madison, and that is the first time Colonel pitching is retired. Caleb Moore this afternoon. Well, Rockford's a unique area. You've lived there most of your life, Dave, and one thing about Rockford, it's I think it's still the second biggest city in Illinois, isn't it?
It's the third largest now. It's Aurora passed us about 2 summers ago.
A rocket off the glove of the first baseman Schlichting. He tries to shovel it to the pitcher. Nothing doing. The ball winds up near the plate where Brett Martinez was backing up the play. That shot was too hot to handle. Just too hot to handle. And as a result, we have a runner at first. That'll be the 13th hit of the afternoon and now evening for the Snappers. That ball was hit like a bullet. Travis Schlichting did well to get a glove on it. It popped behind him. He scrambled, hustled after it, underhanded to Madison covering, but it wouldn't have been in time. The shovel was a little bit wide of the mark, so let's see if Dwayne White will try to test Brett Martinez. Brett has thrown out 3 runners in this series, all trying to steal second. The batter is Drew Thompson. He came on as a pinch hitter back in the 8th inning, and he flew out to right. A bender from the Colonel right-hander is low for ball 1. Kernels 2, Snappers 2, bottom of the 11th inning here in Beloit. Winning run at first with 1 out. Madison, the right-hander, comes set. The pitch is chopped foul past first base. Dave, what's going well in Rockford now? I know you've, like any Midwest city, you've had your ups and downs economically, but let's start with the sport franchises. Is the CBA still going well?
The CBA team is kind of in a limbo right now. The owners have said that they won't return, but that there is a group of investors that is trying to negotiate a sale, and the team is in limbo. The CBA itself is a bit in limbo, although it'll survive. But it lost 4 teams, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, to the NBA Developmental League.
Yes.
And so that leaves 4 teams right now, not including the Ryford team, so that's a 5th, and they're looking to expand to probably as many as 4 or 5 other cities.
Ball 3 is low to Drew Thompson. There goes the runner. And a shot into center, right at Brad Kuhn. He has it. Now a good throw to first will be a double play. The throw is good, and the double play is there. Hey, the Kernels get out of the 11th on a hit and run. Drew Thompson with Dwayne White running, lined it into center field. Brad Kuhn caught it. White was all the way to second base. Brad made a one-hop throw, a strike, to the first baseman Travis Schlichting, and that is the second Kernel double play of the afternoon and evening. It went 8-3 after the line out to center. In the 11th, no runs for Beloit, 1 hit. No Kernel errors. The Snappers leave the bases empty. And we go to the top of the 12th inning here at Pullman Field, still knotted at 2 apiece. You're enjoying Kernel baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Cooperative telephone company. Our members are owners. We make a good team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communication.
It's unheard of. An industry first. A car and truck from the same manufacturer to win the coveted Motor Trend Car of the Year and Motor Trend Truck of the Year in the same year. And the award goes to Honda. Yes, the 2006 Honda Civic wins the Motor Trend Car of the Year, and the 2006 Honda Ridgeline wins for Motor Trend Truck of the Year. And you can find them both at Randy Keel Honda on Center Point Road Northeast. Randy Keel Honda is the home of confidence. Check out their huge selection of new inventory, including the Honda Civic Hybrid with fuel savings of up to 50 miles per gallon on the highway. You owe it to yourself to see why Motor Trend voted the Honda Civic and the Honda Ridgeline the Motor Trend Car and Motor Trend Truck of the Year for 2006. Visit Randy Keel Honda in person on Center Point Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
13th inning. Check that. 12th inning. I'm one step ahead. Let's get a run or two here in the 12th as the left-hander Lugo pitches to Patrick Riley. Lefty against lefty, and a swing and a miss by Patrick. Strike 1. Dave Schultz from the Rockford Register Star. Did I get that right, Dave?
That's right.
Is with us, and he was telling us about the uncertain plight of the Rockford. Are they called the Lightning?
Lightning, right.
Boy, they've had a long tradition in Rockford, haven't they, Dave? How many years?
They have played, I believe we just finished our 20th season, and that's the longest continuous CBA franchise.
A chopper foul outside of first. Well, that is some kind of record, and I think you alluded to the developmental league of the NBA. Is that direct competition with the CBA? Is their goal to kind of put the CBA out of business, or can they coexist?
I think they can coexist. They've coexisted for probably 5 years, maybe a little longer even. But they're direct competition. The CBA used to have.
Here's a high drive to right, way back, and it's off the wall for extra bases. Patrick Riley may try to make it to third. Here's the relay to third. Riley is safe. The ball goes into the Beloit dugout. And Riley trots home to give the Kernels their first lead of the series. How about Patrick Riley? He doubled over the right fielder Tintor's head and actually tripled over his head. And then the throw got away, went into the Beloit dugout, and the Kernels on a triple by Patrick Riley, and then an error on the snapper second baseman. on the relay. He heaved it past third into the Beloit dugout, and it's a triple E4, and the Kernels have cracked through with a run here in the 12th inning and lead it 3-2. Now a ground ball up the middle, backhanded by Thompson at second. A one-hop peg gets Travis Schlichting. Schlichting is grounded out to second base. Well, the Kernels have their first lead of this series. And the key, Dave, was Patrick Riley forcing the issue. He made the snappers make good throws on the relay, and they failed to do so.
That's right. I think I didn't think the throw to third was that bad, but the third baseman wasn't able to flag it down.
You're right. It wasn't a terrible throw at all by Thompson, the second baseman. The third baseman, Tolleson, came up out of his crouch and was eager to try to tag Patrick Riley out. The ball squirted through his legs, went into the dugout, got by Jose Lugo, and the Kernels lead it 3-2 on a Patrick Riley triple and an error, the third of the afternoon and evening by Beloit. Meanwhile, Madison Edwards, facing a lefty, hits it sharply on one hop back to Lugo, and Jose flings it to first. 2 gone here in the Kernel 12th inning. First of all, Dave, I thought Riley's drive had a chance to leave the ballpark, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of lost sight of it, but when it left the bat, it looked like it had a chance to leave the ballpark.
Now, I interrupted your train of thought. What were you going to continue with?
No, I thought it was Beloit thought it was 3 outs and was leaving the field, and they had to bring him back.
Well, it's that time of evening. You can get lulled into a little bit of a mental funk when you've been going hard on a cold, now early Saturday evening. Ball one outside to Brett Martinez. Kernels 3, Beloit 2 here in the top of the 12th inning. Martinez takes inside, ball 2 from Jose Lugo. Nothing doing in the Kernel bullpen unless Todd Brummelkamp can bring us any other news. It looks like Tim Madison will try to take the mound in the bottom of the 12th inning. He sure earned that chance with 2 scoreless innings. We're hoping for more, though, here in the 12th because Beloit will have the top of the order up in the bottom of the 12th inning. 2-1 to Brett Martinez. Ground ball hard up the middle into center. That's a base hit. Second hit of the inning off Jose Lugo, and Brett Martinez has his second hit of the day. 11 hits now for the Kernels, 13 for Beloit. Brett Martinez grounds one up the middle. Well, let's keep it going. I told you the top of the snapper order due up in the bottom of this 12th inning, so it would behoove the Kernels to try to get some more runs. Dave, I understand the indoor football phenomenon has hit Rockford.
Yes, we have a new football team, the Rock Valley Raptors.
The Rock Valley Raptors.
And they moved to Rockford from somewhere in the south, I believe in Alabama, but I don't know the exact city, I'm sorry to say.
There goes the runner, a curve of ball, the throw to second, not in time. Brett Martinez steals a base as Brett Kuhn took a ball, and there's a runner in scoring position for Brad Kuhn. I'll get these names squared away. I should know Brad. He accompanied me down to the Amana Colonies on Wednesday night for our annual dinner. A delightful kid. Went to school in Nashville, Tennessee. He has a chance to make it a 2-run Kernel inning and a 2-run Kernel lead here in the top of the 12th inning with Martinez at second and 2 gone. Ball 3 outside. 3-0 from lefty Jose Lugo. Well, now, are they a part of the so-called Arena Football League 1, 2, or 3? I don't know how many of them there are.
No, they're members of the United Indoor Football League.
Never knew such a thing existed. Strike called to Brad Kuhn.
I think it's safe to say nobody in Rockford knew such a thing existed until about sometime last summer.
Hope they're drawing well.
They have played one home game. They play their third game tonight. It's the second road game, and they're down in Bloomington, Illinois tonight.
Kuhn shoots one into left for a base hit. We're going to have a play at the plate. They're waving Martinez home. The throw to the plate. Cut off, and the Kernels lead it 4-2. Brett Martinez streaks home ahead of the throw by Dwayne White on a base hit to left by Brad Kuhn. That's a big, big run for the Kernels here in the 12th inning. They now lead it 4-2. How about Brad Kuhn on a 3-1 delivery? He went the other way and lashed it into left. One hop to Dwayne White, and I don't know if White's hurting or what, but he had very little on his throw to the plate. Golly, it looked to me like, Dave Schultz, that Martinez was arriving at third when Dwayne White was picking up the base hit.
I thought it wasn't even going to be close at the plate, and it turned out that there wasn't even a play at the plate.
And I don't know if Dwayne White is hurting. His throw he didn't have too much urgency on his throw. It was to the cutoff man, Steve Tolleson, and the Kernels have scored a pair here in the 12th and now lead the game 4-2. Larry Infante at the plate. A throw to first and back safely is Brad Kuhn. Boy, the Kernels have battled in this series, and they're trying to win this afternoon and this evening for a chance to gain a split with a victory tomorrow. Throw to first and back safely is Brad Kuhn. He'll likely be running. And Dave, we better talk about the baseball situation in Rockford. We enjoyed traveling to Marinelli Field during the late 90s and early 2000 to watch the Rockford Midwest League team, and for the last several years you've had a Frontier League team in Rockford.
That's right. This will be our 5th season, I believe.
There goes the runner. A pitch inside. The throw to second, not in time. A head-first slide by Brad Kuhn. He has his second stolen base of the day and night. And that Independent League team is doing well, aren't they, in terms of business success?
Yes, they seem to have a good business model, and the first thing that we noticed about them in Rockford was that they seemed to have an ample staff to do what needed to be done.
A high fly ball to left should end this inning. Dwayne White has it, and that does end the 12th inning for the Kernels. 2 runs on 3 hits. There were no Beloit errors. The Kernels leave a runner and have stranded 8. Well, once again, we're going to keep it right here and see if Tim Madison will take the hill and try to gain a victory in his first Kernel appearance. 4-2 Kernels here in the 12th inning. And Dave, the team in Rockford is in the Frontier League, and that means independent ball, and they are going to be moving into a new stadium, I believe, this spring, aren't they?
Yes, their first home game in the new stadium is May 31st. The season starts a week earlier, and the stadium is it's in Loves Park, which is the northern suburb of Rockford. It's next to Interstate 90, north of the city.
And that ballpark is it's been long awaited. They've been working on it, I believe, for 3 years, haven't they?
They announced plans for it. It'll be 3 years this summer, and they began construction on it in the summer of 2004.
Summer of 2004.
They had hoped to be in it last year, but had some delays and decided that they'd push back they'd originally hoped to open the season in it last year, and then they pushed the opening date back to the middle of the season, and eventually were forced to push it back to this year. But it'll be a more modern facility than Marinelli. Some of the private suites and things like that
sure.
that the new parks have.
Well, that's a good thing for this state line community. Terrence Patterson ducks out of the way of a Tim Madison curveball for ball 1. 4-2 Kernels, bottom of the 12th inning here in Beloit, where it's 45 degrees. I'm surprised the independent umpires haven't called for the lights to be turned on. It's about that time of evening. In fact, it's the top of the hour, and we want to remind you that you're enjoying Kernel Baseball here in the zone. AM 1600, KCRG, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Ball 2 to the batter. Now a strike as Patterson was taking all the way. 25 hits in this game, 5 errors, and 6 runs. The Kernels lead it 4-2 in the 12th. Patterson rams one off the mask, or the chest protector, of Brett Martinez. I doubt if Brett will be catching the series finale tomorrow afternoon. He's been a workhorse behind that plate. He's caught every inning of the first 3 games of the series. Dave Schultz is with us from the Rockford Register-Star. The 2-2 from Tim. Swing and a miss. That's the 4th strikeout for Tim Madison. He fell behind Terrence Patterson 2-0 and came back to get him on a 2-2 changeup. Wow. What a shot in the arm Tim Madison has given this Kernel Ball Club. Now Steve Tolleson at the plate. Tolleson takes a curve for a ball. Now, has Bruce Weber, the phenomenal coach with the Fighting Illini basketball team, has he picked any of the ripe talent from Rockford Prep basketball the last few years, Dave?
No, we have nobody at University of Illinois.
That surprises me a little bit. Or is Rockford a football town?
I would say right now we're more of a football town. It comes and goes. There are times when we have more success in basketball than...
A high pop foul, and Travis Schlichting makes a terrific running catch, reaching over the restraining fence that gave Mark Trumbo an unexpected tumble a couple of innings back, and Travis Schlichting with a very snazzy catch, reaching over the railing at first for the second out of the 12th inning. So we're down to the bottom of the 12th. There are 2 out, nobody on for Beloit. And a strike called. Paul Kelly has 1 hit this afternoon. Kernels 4, Beloit 2 here in the bottom of the 12th inning. And Tim Madison pitches a ground ball base hit past third into left field. Patrick Riley up with it. That's the 2nd hit for Paul Kelly today, and the 14th for Beloit. Well, it was a do or die for Dallas Morris. He had to reach down to his left, and the ball was hit too hard for Dallas to stop it. And that's just the 2nd hit off Tim Madison. Oh, no. Old Abner, as Mike Shannon likes to say, the Cardinal broadcaster, has done it again. The one guy that can take you deep is at the plate, Henry Sanchez. Swing and a miss, the ball in the dirt, and I'm surprised the runner holds it first. Brett Martinez skidded on the grass to the left of the dirt batting circle and made a good play. I think, and I'm going to see if Todd Brummel can give me a thumbs up on this. Todd, I think the Kernels have done a much better job of figuring out Sanchez. They have fed him a steady diet of off-speed stuff today. Yeah, Todd concurs that they're not going to give Sanchez a fastball, at least not one, hopefully, that he can drive. Curve, he hits it hard to short. Stacia has it, Henley to second, and that's a Kernel win, the first of the season. Sanchez wrapped it hard to short, and Henley Stacia fed the second baseman, Larry Infante, for the final out of the game. And it's a hard-earned, justified Kernel victory here this afternoon and this evening in the 12th inning for the Snappers. No runs, 1 hit, no Kernel errors, and Beloit leaves a runner. They stranded 11, and the Kernels are extra inning victors here in southern Wisconsin. Kernels 4, Beloit 2. We'll be back with the Kernel Curtain Call in just a moment. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
The hottest feature in beautiful Veterans Memorial Stadium is the coolest place. It's the Whirling Waters Home Run.
I want to formally thank you when we get back.
Splash it up. from the most coveted spot at the ballpark? Simply register at Centerpoint in Westdale Mall and listen to Mix 96.5. If you're selected as the winner, you'll enjoy the ultimate entertainment experience. AquaJet Stream Comfort atop the left field wall in the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. Brought to you by Westdale Mall and Mix 96.5.
It's unheard of and industry first. A car and truck from the same manufacturer to win the coveted Motor Trend Car of the Year and Motor Trend Truck of the Year in the same year. And the award goes to Honda. Yes, the 2006 Honda Civic wins the Motor Trend Car of the Year, and the 2006 Honda Ridgeline wins for Motor Trend Truck of the Year. And you can find them both at Randy Kill Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast. Randy Kill Honda is the home of confidence. Check out their huge selection of new inventory, including the Honda Civic Hybrid with fuel savings of up to 50 miles per gallon on the highway. You owe it to yourself to see why Motor Trend voted the Honda Civic and the Honda Ridgeline the Motor Trend Car and Motor Trend Truck of the Year for 2006. Visit Randy Kiel Honda in person on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykiel.com. Randy Kiel Honda, where they treat you right.
It's time for the Kernels Curtain Call. Now, with a game recap, a complete look at the State Farm scoreboard, and a look ahead to upcoming action, let's rejoin the voice of the Kernels, John Rogers.
And here we are back at Pullman Field with twilight turning into dusk. The Kernels spring open or break through with two big runs in the 12th inning, ride tremendous starting pitching and bullpen work, and earn their first victory of the season in 12 innings, 4-2 over the Snappers. Colonel Curtain Call, and the first thing we want to do is thank Dave Schultz, our longtime friend from the Rockford Register-Star, for helping us rub that magic touch on the Kernels in extra innings. Dave, thanks so much, and Todd and I will look forward to celebrating this first win of the season with you. We'll get a bite to eat here in Beloit after the game, but thank you so much for your help and your insight. Can't let you get away without you explaining how a guy that has family roots in Iowa and here in the Midwest becomes a Yankee fan.
I guess my answer to that, John, is that I've been a Yankee fan for since the 1950 World Series, and the Yankees, of course, in the 50s were always playing in the World Series with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and I was, well, when I first knew about the Yankees, I was 5 years old, but so I didn't know a lot about baseball, didn't follow baseball that much, but everybody followed the World Series, and so that's where I became interested, and a lot of people were Dodger fans, and particularly during the World Series time, but the Dodgers never won. The Yankees always won, so I jumped on the winner. But you can beat me for that, but I've stuck with the Yankees through good times and bad.
Yes, you have, and I was only kidding about the so-called one flaw. It's fun to kid Yankee fans. It's kind of like kidding U.S. Steel when Andrew Carnegie owned it. Everybody takes a shot at the people on the top, don't they?
That's right, and believe me, I'm used to being targeted because I'm a Yankee fan. I don't hide that I'm a Yankee fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're wearing your Yankee jacket, and it's always neat to hear how guys from your generation in the Midwest become Yankee fans. I think you said it best when they were on black and white television, the dawn of the television era, and they were playing, they had all those Hall of Famers on the team. I guess you couldn't help but take a liking to them, and then they had guys, idols like Yogi Berra and Mickey Mantle and Gil McDougall and Hank Bauer and Moose Scour, and they had some pretty admirable characters, not to mention Elston Howard.
That's right, and I still love Yogi. He was my first favorite player, and of course you still see him popping up on commercials here and there, and so I still love Yogi.
Well, Dave, we sure have appreciation for your longtime friendship. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll keep you in the bullpen for the next 10 minutes and then head out to get a bite to eat.
Thanks, John.
That's Dave Schultz of the Rockford Register-Star, kind enough to visit with us, as was Colonel Director of Media Relations Todd Brummelkamp. Let's give you the final line score in this marathon Colonel victory. 4 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors for the Kernels. We left 8. The The Snappers had 2 runs on 14 hits, 3 errors. They stranded 11. The winning pitcher was newcomer Tim Madison, and isn't it ironic that his wife, Cassandra, several hours ago in the 5th inning, won our Bruce Moore Bonanza. I bet she is a happy spouse, and Tim Madison pitched 3 scoreless innings to win it. He's 1-0. The loser was lefty Jose Lugo. He's 0-1. The game took 3 hours and 1 minute, and the Kernels battled back this afternoon and this evening. Beloit scored a run, the first run of the game in the 4th inning. They did so on a double play hit into by Dwayne White. The Snappers loaded the bases against Kelly Shear, the starter. Kelly gave up only 1 run on that double play, worked out of a tough jam, and the other run scored by the Snappers came in the 6th inning off Dan Hawkins. That run was driven in the 6th inning on a sacrifice fly to left field by Giovanni Ortiz, and it scored Eli Tintor 2-0 as we went to the 7th inning in favor of Beloit. The Kernels scored in the 7th, and they did so on a Henley Stacia infield single off the mid of the pitcher at that time, and that was Alex Schmidt. Alex Schmidt gave up, or check that, it was Travis Schlichting that put the Kernels on the board with the sacrifice fly that scored Patrick Riley. Riley had 3 of the Kernel 12 hits in his Kernel debut this afternoon and this evening. Schlichting drove home Patrick Riley to make it a 2-1 game in the 7th. And then in the 8th inning, it was Henley Stacia driving home Brett Martinez with a tying run, an RBI for Stacia to tie it at 2-2. The Kernels worked out of trouble in the 9th inning. The Snappers had their leadoff man aboard, but in the 9th inning, it was Chris Howell who got a double play to keep the game 2-2. Tim Madison came on in the 10th and struck out the side. The Kernels turned another double play in the 10th inning, or in the 11th inning rather. They turned a double play, and then they won it in the 12th inning, and we'll have the details on that in just a moment. Our PRC play of the game. 4-2 Kernels. We'll take a break and have that PRC play of the game when we return on the Kernel Radio Network.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe from me to you. A tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool, but pepper, it's a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this.
I'm a pepper,
right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mashup of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
Heck, you know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Woo! Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Your home is a place for savoring all the good things in life. It's a place for celebrations. It's a place where memories are created. To make sure your home is properly insured, visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion, your professional Pekin insurance agency. Sheets Forest Draper will give you all important details about homeowners insurance with complete coverages and surprisingly affordable rates. Visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion for homeowners insurance for your well-lived and well-loved home.
John Rogers back with you on the Kernel Curtain Call on the heels of the first Kernel victory of the season, 12-inning triumph, 4-2 Kernels. And we, in our game wrap-up, we didn't say much about the Kernel 12th inning. We're going to do that now. It's the PRC play of the game. If you're looking for a job where you'll be a part of an amazing team that cares for your needs and gives you the ability to grow, visit prc.net. That's www.prcnet.com. I'll get that email or that website correct. PRC's website. And again, if you're looking for a career opportunity with a company with a great heart, contact PRC at www.prcnet.com. our PRC play of the game. Now, bear in mind, we're 0 for 2 on this to start the season, getting our MP3 player to translate through on the vector, but I think we've got it figured out. They say the third time's a charm. Patrick Riley, who had 2 hits and a run scored before he batted in the 12th inning, was the first man up facing lefty Julio Lugo. Here is our PRC play of the game. Well, I'll be darned. We're trying again, and I think I've got it figured out now. First of all, I've made a mistake, one of who knows how many hundreds this year. It was Jose Lugo, the lefty, the pitcher, and I think now I'm going to...
This has been a special sports presentation from The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids. Now back to our regularly scheduled ESPN programming already in progress.